With the dog days of training camp behind them, the Ravens turn their attention to Game 3 of the preseason. For starters, it's dress rehearsal for Week 1 in Denver. For depth players, it's a chance to earn a roster spot. With plenty on the line, a familiar opponent from across the Beltway returns to M&T Bank Stadium tonight. What stars will shine and who will leave their mark on this important rehearsal? It's Game 3 of the preseason against Washington. Tonight in Baltimore, we will see the Ravens starters for their longest stretch of work in this preseason as the Ravens take on the Washington Redskins in the game most people agree is the most important of the summertime. For Ravens regulars like Joe Flacco, this is the end of the preseason road. Flacco won't play next week on the road in Atlanta, so he wants to close out his preseason sharp tonight, early and often against the Washington Redskins. For veteran wide receiver Steve Smith Sr., it marks the beginning of the end. For the 15-year vet, his final preseason game. He's not playing next week either in Atlanta. You know he wants to delight the crowd tonight in Baltimore. And for 13-year veteran Terrell Suggs, he wants to erase memories of a struggle last week on the road in Philadelphia and remind the rest of the NFL that you don't want to play the Ravens in Baltimore. Good evening and welcome to M&T Bank Stadium. Jerry Sandusky with you, along with my broadcast partners, Stan White and Kadri Ismail. Guys, this is the game that everybody points to at the start of preseason to know where this team is. And Stan, as you look at this Ravens defense, it's really kind of a battle of the talking about the Smiths that Dean Pease is going to rely on this year.
Well, you want to know what Jimmy Smith can do. He was out half of last year. He has to be that shutdown corner. They gave him that big contract, that franchise-type contract that they give to a few Ravens. He's got that. So he has to come back, stay healthy, and be that shutdown corner. Tonight starts that. That's a dress rehearsal for that. Then you got a young Smith up front. Not Darryl Smith, but Zardarius Smith, who has to really come on and be part of that pass rush. You got Dumerville and Suggs, who were the best combination in the NFL last year, but you need some help. Otherwise, you can double those two guys. Zardarius Smith has to take that Pernell McPhee type situation, and he needs to do it earlier rather than later.
Year 8 under John Harbaugh, and Q, we know this about John Harbaugh and his offense. It starts with a running game.
Well, let's look at last year. They were very much a dominant running team. They finished 8th in the league in rushing offense. It all starts up front. Even though this offensive line in his third preseason game, you can always rely upon number 73, and that's Marshall Yanda. He establishes the tone and the tempo of a dominating up-front offense. I'm looking forward to seeing him play and what he can do in his final dress rehearsal. And then, of course, you're running the football. You might as well go ahead and give it to Mr. Reliable, and that's Justin Forsett. Boy, did he have a fabulous year last year. I think this third preseason game is where he goes out, gives himself an opportunity to kind of warm up the legs, shut them back down, and then go ahead and get ready for Week 1, and that's Denver Broncos.
All right, the coin flip is coming up when we come back. Brad Harris for how long Joe Flacco will play tonight. It's the Ravens and the Redskins on the Ravens Game Day Network. The Ravens won the opening coin toss and have elected to receive. That means Joe Flacco will be on the field first with the ball. Let's go down to the field, and Brent Harris. Brent, how long do you expect to see Flacco play tonight?
Well, at least the first 2 quarters, maybe into the third quarters. We know the Ravens offense had mixed results of the first 2 preseason games. First preseason game, this offense went 16 plays, touchdown. Second preseason game, Joe Flacco threw 2 interceptions. He told me tonight is very important. He wants to go out there and light it up so they have that energy as they head into the first game. As you mentioned, Jerry, this is really the final dress rehearsal. We don't expect to see Joe Flacco in the first team offense in Atlanta next week. So this is their opportunity. Joe this year seems to have a real veteran presence, a real air about him. And part of that is because he has so many young players around him. And Jerry, as you know, Joe said it's his job to get these young players ready. And that starts in games. They want to get some momentum to head into the regular season.
Brent, thank you very much. And the momentum for the Ravens starts with that man, John Harbaugh, now in his 8th season as the Ravens head coach, 72-40. Also has a winning record in preseason, and that's because anything his team is involved in, he wants them to compete and he wants them to win. On the other side of the field, Jay Gruden, now in his 2nd year as the Redskins head coach. The Ravens very familiar with the former offensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals. Gruden 4-12 in his debut last year in Washington, and he has another big question looming at quarterback this year with RG3 not cleared to play tonight. So we expect to see Kirk Cousins taking the snaps throughout the first half. The weather tonight in Baltimore, you couldn't really ask for too much more than this in August. 80 degrees and actually a pleasant breeze. Humidity's above 50%, so it feels like summertime in Baltimore, but it is not oppressive by any stretch of the imagination. The return game, the big question for the Ravens, it will be Asa Jackson returning the opening kickoff from Ty Long. And Long, we'll see whether or not he puts it too long to return. Jackson will let this one go out of the back of the end zone, and the frustrations continue for the Ravens return game. Joe Flacco in the offense will start things off. 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line. Flacco a year ago, 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, a career year as he set the pace for the Ravens offense, which gained more yards and scored more points than any Ravens offense before. 1st and 10 Ravens at their 20-yard line. Justin Forsett will be the deep back. Kyle Juszczyk the up back. Steve Smith Sr. goes in motion. Off the play fake, Flacco rolling down under pressure, throws complete. Smith has it along the near sideline and is shoved out of bounds after a 7-yard gain. Up front for that Ravens offense, it'll be the targets, Steve Smith Sr. as well as Kamar Aiken. Crockett Gilmore at tight end. Juszczyk and Forsett the starting backfield. Jeremy Zutaw will get the start at center. The left side of the line, Marshall Yanda, right side rather, and Rick Wagner. The left side is remodeled tonight with Urschel getting the start at guard, and Ryan Jensen going at tackle. On 2nd down and 3, Forsett working behind right center guard, and he's got an opening. He's across the 35-yard line, and the Ravens will have a 1st down on a gain of 8.
Yeah, you're talking about starting off the game in prime fashion. It's just Justin Forsett being set. Nice cutback run. Great job up front of really establishing a lane to cut back into. You saw where Ryan Jensen just destroys his guy and gives Justin Forsett an opportunity to really just run up and find some daylight.
Mark Trestman wants to see his offensive line dominate at the point of attack. That is going to be a big theme for the Ravens. Forsett will carry on 1st down off the right side of the line, and he has nowhere to go. Second effort won't net much. He'll get about a yard on the play out to the 36.
Yeah, it's all about being healthy when it comes to the keys to the game. I know this to be true. You don't want to be sitting back and worrying about guys getting injured, but then it is also about rebounding, getting that bad taste out of your mouth from last week's game. And basically, you know this is the 3rd preseason game, so it is dress rehearsal. It's going to be an extended action. You got to be prepared and in shape and ready to go.
Juszczyk shifts into the up back position on 2nd down and 8. Flacco under center, drops to throw. Fires to the far sideline. Steve Smith Sr. has it. Redskins territory, 45, 40, leg breaks, 30. He's to the 20, and he's going to go. Steve Smith Sr. with a touchdown. 64 yards, and the Ravens strike right out of the gates.
You talk about starting off hot and fast, rebounding from last week. Those keys, boy, I tell you what, it's all about the proper attitude. Led by Joe Flacco. John Harbaugh, he definitely has to be pleased with this start. That's what you want to see from your 1st team offense. Of course, you're talking about your go-to guy in Steve Smith Sr. Great route running, but also you're seeing the experience of going up against a guy in the likes of David Amerson from the Redskins. He just abused him on a post corner route. Wow.
Yards after catch. You always talk about that. There was a lot of them on that one.
Justin Tucker on for the 33-yard extra point try. It's going to take a while to get you attempts of this distance. Tucker's kick is good. And the Ravens open up hot. Took him less than 2 minutes to do it as Joe Flacco connects on a 64-yard catch and run with Steve Smith Sr. The Ravens take the early lead, 7-0 on the Ravens Game Day Network. 13:03 to play opening quarter. The Ravens lead it 7-0. The Geico scoring drive quick. 4 plays, 80 yards, less than 2 minutes. Steve Smith Sr. officially a 63-yard touchdown pass. Q, how they pull this off so effectively.
Well, Jerry, he's isolated on David Amerson in the slot. It's a great way to give him more space to run his And then, of course, this is the talent of Steve Smith Sr. making a guy miss, but you see the acceleration away from all the Redskin defenders. You talk about him being in his, 15th season? I think he's found the fountain of youth.
Justin Tucker kicks it off. Justin Rogers will bring it out of the end zone. He's across the 10, cuts it to 15, and he'll be stopped shy of the 20-yard line. Excellent kick coverage by the Ravens. Let's take a look at the Ravens starting defense tonight up front. It's a young group with the veteran, Brandon Williams and Timmy Jernigan, the youth, Chris Canty, the veteran out of Virginia. The linebacking core is rock solid. Darrell Smith, C.J. Mosley inside, Courtney Upshaw, Terrell Suggs on the outside. And the secondary continuing to evolve with Will Hill, who got a new contract this week, and Kendrick Lewis at safety. Jimmy Smith and Kyle Arrington will start at corner. Still no Lardarius Webb, who has not played this preseason for a second year in a row, bothered by hamstring problems. Alfred Morris will get the carry on first down. He has nowhere to go as Darrell Smith stacked him up right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and 10.
Well, that's stopping the run, and that's the first thing you do defensively. You saw those two outside edge setters. They are good as they can be. And Terrell Suggs was even coming to the inside and just pushed his man all the way in the backfield. There was no hole. So good job on first down. Now you put yourself in a good second down situation defensively.
Kirk Cousins at quarterback for the Redskins tonight with RG3 not passing the concussion protocols. Cousins' first pass attempt of the night, throws over the middle, complete. Alfred Morris has it, and he is taken down after a gain of about 5. For Kirk Cousins, new number this year. He wears number 8 this year. He used to wear number 12, but he gave that number 12 jersey to a new teammate, Andre Roberts, for a $12,000 donation to the Kirk Cousins football camp. RG3 slated to start tonight, but the independent neurologist reviewing his concussion from a week ago withdrew permission for him to play as of yesterday. So he is on the sideline in street clothes tonight. Cousins on third down. Under pressure, and his pass is complete to the 31-yard line. And coming down with the first down reception, Andre Roberts.
Number 12. I guess he liked that guy to give him the number. I'm going to throw the ball to you.
Good return on the investment, Stan.
Yeah, that's just too much time. You know, he had got to look to his third different guy on that route recognition, and by the time he got to him, he went from one side of the field to the other. It's tough to cover anybody that long.
Elvis Dumerville applying the pressure. First and 10 Redskins. Ball is at the Washington 31. Mars the deep back in the on. He'll get the carry, working off left tackle, and he is slamming into Kendrick Lewis after a gain of about 3. Stan, what are the defensive keys tonight?
Well, we talked about stopping the run. There's no doubt about that. As they come up here, execute the game plan. We talked about that in the pre-game. Being able to get the call. We have somebody down that's injured, by the way, and communicate, and then get some turnovers. That's the thing you got to do when you put yourself in this situation. Twice now.
Timmy
it's been
Jernigan is
long.
the injured player. As the medical team goes out to take a look at the defensive tackle, will step aside. 7-0 Ravens on the Ravens Game Day Network. A sunset worthy of Monet tonight in Baltimore, where the Ravens lead the Redskins 7-0 with 10:58 to play in the first quarter. Timmy Jernigan, the injured Raven on that last play, walking with team orthopedist Leanne Pearl as they take a look at his right knee that he was flexing following that injury. Stan, this is not a kid the Ravens could afford losing.
No, not without Haloti Ngata. He's supposed to take his place and even maybe be more dynamic. Yeah, you need him to be healthy, no doubt about that. And I'm sure your defensive line coach there, Clarence Brooks wants that to be. He wants him to be healthy also. What makes a good coach is good players, so he wants to have them in there. How about that sky? That was great. I mean, God's a great artist, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Let's see if the Ravens defense can force the Redskins into a punt situation. Alfred Morris in the backfield, Cousins in the shotgun, second down and 8. Quick toss, and it's intercepted at the 30-yard line. Coming down with it is Terrell Suggs, who read it perfectly and snatched it right out of the air on the Cousins throw.
How often have we seen that? He's done it to Pittsburgh how many times?
Yes.
That little slip screen, bubble screen. I mean, people call it different things, but he reads it because the guy doesn't block him. He goes downfield, and he understands that if I don't get blocked, I shouldn't keep rushing. And he goes right to the outside and takes the blocker with him and then intercept a pass. That's just a horrible pass by Kirk Cousins, number one, not seeing him. But Terrell Suggs also has the hand. He has eight career interceptions.
Beautiful. Flacco under center, 1st and 10 Ravens at the Washington 30. Flacco with time. He throws a strike to Steve Smith Sr. complete inside the 20-yard line. That'll be good for 12 and a Ravens first down.
Do you think Steve Smith Sr. is going to have, I don't know, over 100 catches? This year he might break the NFL single-season reception record. He is their most experienced receiver, and right now he's having a clinic on David Amerson as he's just running route after route and separating as he's catching passes.
What did he say last year against Carolina, running around like little boys in the schoolyard or something like that?
He's a man tonight. 3 catches, 82 yards. Buck Allen will get down, and he weaves his way down to the 15-yard line before Jason Hatcher brings him down.
As much as you want to talk about the passing attack, you got to have depth at the running back position, and Buck Allen, very talented young man. He's going to see a lot of time tonight. I know Justin Forsett, he's probably going to be sitting on the sideline coaching him up a little bit, but this young man in the passing attack and pass protection is where he's going to have to show that he's reliable to stay on the football field.
And really important since Talaferro's hurt.
Ravens in the grill, mates red zone. Allen alone in the backfield. Off the play fake. Flacco lobs the ball in the end zone, and he overthrew the tight end Nick Boyle at the goal line. A flag is down, and this was indication is it's going against the Ravens.
Wow. I think Nick Boyle got a little
did he push off?
Pass interference. Offense number 82. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Now this is a play that has to concern John Harbaugh and his offensive coordinator Mark Trestman, because you have 3 young tight ends, a veteran quarterback, and every time these types of plays happen, you think if Dennis Pitter were there, it wouldn't. But Dennis Pitt is not there.
Well, if you're looking at the route, he's trying to run a corner route, and he pushed away from, extended his arm away from the defender. That's a quick call for the side judge.
2nd and long. Screen pass comes to Jeremy Butler, and he is chopped off his feet at the 20-yard line.
That's actually Buck Allen. He was spread out
Buck
wide.
Allen on the reception.
It's a nice little wrinkle for Mark Trestman's offense.
Ryan Jensen, the starting left tackle tonight, is shaken up on the play, and the Redskins training staff came out and prevented him from falling down at the end of that play. Jensen looks like a prize fighter in the 8th round after he took a shot on the chin.
Yep, that's the old days. He used to give us smelling salts.
Yeah.
So the injuries to the offensive line continue to multiply as Ryan Jensen needs to be escorted to the Ravens sideline.
Well, I tell you what, he's been having a really fantastic camp. See where he.
We'll take a look at the play. Ryan Jensen, number 66, shaken up on the play.
Now watch him go out to block the defensive back, and he just hits his shoulder right on his shoulder, and it's not the straight ons that usually get you. It's from the side, and that's what he went as the back was going by him. He hits him on the side, and he gets that side condition, and you can see that's what happens when you get it from the side. I got many hits on the side between pinched nerves and being like that. That's what happens.
3rd down and 12. The Ravens have the ball at the Washington 20-yard line. Under 9 minutes to play in the opening half. It was the Buck Allen. He weaves his way inside the 15 and stretches it down to the 12-yard line. It'll be shy of the first down. And that'll bring the kicking team on as Justin Tucker will have his first field goal try of the night.
Evaluation. That was a nice, smooth run by Buck Allen. You might bring out the field goal team. That's okay, but that's something that way you can look at and say, good job, young man, of getting north and south.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to sack there, you don't want to turn over there, and a run might break, as they're playing pass in that situation. So you give yourself a couple opportunities that way.
31-yard try for Justin Tucker from the right hash mark, shorter than an extra point, and just as true as Tucker puts it through. 8:08 to play in the opening quarter here at M&T Bank Stadium. It's all Ravens so far. Ravens 10, Redskins nothing. 10-0 Ravens in front of the Redskins. 8:08 to play in the opening quarter at M&T Bank Stadium. Ravens fans, Papa John's has an incredible season-long offer. Get a large up to 3-topping or specialty pizza and a 2-liter beverage for only $12. Simply enter promo code RAVENSCOMBO online at papajohns.com. Well, on the heels of the Justin Tucker 31-yard field goal, the Geico scoring drive, 5 plays, 17 yards. 2.5 minutes, all set up by the Terrell Suggs interception. Tucker's kick returned out of the end zone by Justin Rogers. Rogers across the 20-yard line. Flag is down, and Rogers corkscrews his way out close to the 29-yard line. But we'll check in with our referee.
During return, holding team number 41. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Terry McCauley, our referee tonight. And on the topic of Papa John's, hey, they're starting to get it right, guys.
Yes.
Game 3, and we've got 3 boxes.
Yes.
Well, I've got tomato and mushrooms here.
We got 4 boxes. I got 2 of them.
How surprising Stan would get the extra free.
Yeah, and these are the 2 desserts. I don't know how I ended up with them.
I got some olives. I got some tomato.
I'm taking one of yours.
Go ahead. Partake and enjoy.
Yeah,
it's
good stuff.
You're going to have a pepperoncini.
I know you want one of these.
Oh, yeah.
First good trade of the preseason, and I pull it off. Ozzie will be proud. Well, Kirk Cousins trying to rebound from an interception that led to a Justin Tucker field goal. Redskins will start this drive after the penalty inside the 10. Cousins fumbles the ball, and he'll fall on it. Redskins will retain possession. Boy, things going south in a hurry for this Redskin offense that has struggled mightily this preseason. Washington's first unit has yet to score a touchdown this year, and they have yet to get across midfield tonight.
Well, this is what you love to be on the defense here, where they're backed up and they're limited. They don't want to make a mistake, and they almost did. I wouldn't imagine they're going to be pretty conservative here in this situation.
Morris in the backfield. Cousins in the shotgun. He'll throw from inside his end zone. Pumps once, lobs it far sideline, complete to Jordan Reed, and he'll be close to a first down. Down to the field for an injury update from Brent Harris.
Jerry, offensive lineman Ryan Jensen just went inside for a concussion test, and defensive tackle Timmy Jernigan having his right knee looked at. As we get updates, we'll send you the reports. Jerry.
Thank you for that, Brent. John Harbaugh with more injury concerns here in the early going. Just under 7 minutes to play the opening quarter. The one thing you don't want to have happen tonight is adding to that injury list. Cousins under center on first down. Play action. Fires down the middle, and he threw it behind his target. He had a man open, but Ryan Grant couldn't turn all the way back and snatch the errant throw.
Well, that's because Darryl Smith got in the passing lane. He had to throw it where Darryl Smith wasn't, and that's where the receiver wasn't either. So that was a great drop by the linebacker. Play action is supposed to hold him, but he's smart enough to read the lineman on that play action and get back into the area. He knows if they're going to try to suck him up, there's somebody coming in behind him. He found that passing lane, and Cousins had to throw it in an area where the receiver couldn't stay.
Second down and 10 for Washington at the Redskins 19. Cousins off the play fake, quick toss, and this time he does find his man, Ryan Grant, across the 30-yard line. He'll get it to the 32, a 12-yard gain, and a Washington first down.
Yeah, and play action shouldn't work on 2nd and 10. You know, you should be dropping all around. And this is Jimmy Smith. He's expecting inside help, and he got it right between the linebackers. That time there was a little better timing. You see Darryl Smith turned a little bit the other direction. If he'd have swung his hips just a little bit, he might have been able to pick that one off.
First and 10 Washington at the Redskins 32, and a whistle before the snap. Play clock still had 13 on it.
I don't know if he's challenging this or not.
Terry McCauley coming to John Harbaugh. Harbaugh did throw the red flag.
Baltimore's challenge to the pass was incomplete. Timeout.
So John Harbaugh with the first challenge of whether or not that first down will stand for the Redskins. We'll find out when we get back. 6:09 to play. First quarter in Baltimore. It's the Ravens 10, the Redskins nothing. Ravens in front 10-0. 6:09 to play in the opening quarter. Referee Terry McCauley has finished his review, brought to you by Toyota, of the catch, rule to catch by Ryan Grant. Let's see if it stands.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Washington. Baltimore is charged with their first team timeout.
So John Harbaugh's challenge does not stand, and the Redskins will be working with a 1st and 10 at their 32. Last year, the Ravens 4 of 9 on challenges. Surprised this one stand, guys?
They must not have the right angle.
I think that's what it comes
looked
down
like the ball
to.
was on the ground to me from one of the angles that we saw.
John Harbaugh obviously thought the same as you guys, but Terry McCauley disagreed. 1st and 10 Washington. Redskins 32. Alfred Morris alone in the backfield. Here comes blitz pressure. And Morris running along the right hash mark, able to push the pile forward to the 37, a gain of 5.
You know, regardless of who's there for the Washington Redskins at quarterback, Alfred Morris needs to have a big season for them to be successful.
And you can't get pushed like that. They got those 3 extra yards after contact. That's what makes a 2nd and 8, you're winning. 2nd and 5, defensively, you're not. That's when the 2nd and 3rd guy has to get in there and not be pushed for those 2 or 3 extra yards. Those are the little things that add up when you're playing defense.
3-man front for the Ravens defense. 2nd and 5. They blitz off the edge. Redskins pick it up. Cousins pass is incomplete, in and out of the hands of a diving Ryan Grant at the Ravens 40.
Yeah, did a good. I mean, they're lucky he didn't catch that one. But they had long enough coverage. You see the defensive back let him get position on him to break to the inside, and did not make a good break. That was very lucky that they didn't catch that ball.
That was new Ravens safety Kendrick Lewis. Big week for his family. They were one of the many victims of Hurricane Katrina. 10 years ago, they celebrated the 10-year anniversary of that horrific storm. But he said it is a storm that brought his family closer together. Much of his family has relocated, but some have returned to New Orleans. Cousins pass is complete. Flag is down. The ball will be out to midfield. And Andre Roberts, a 13-yard gain, but again, a flag is down.
Illegal contact, defense, 5-yard penalty, decline, 1st down.
That's one of those where they gave away the blitz too early, and it allowed the offense to pick it up, and then it's just tough to cover those hitches. And you know, defensively, you can't let a guy run by you. So when he starts to go by you, when you're in 0 coverage, you're going to hit him, and that's what happened on that one.
John Harbaugh has seen the penalties multiply as his team has moved through preseason. He wants to reverse that trend tonight. 1st and 10 from the Ravens 49, and a big hit from Courtney Upshaw to drop the ball carrier for a loss of 2 back to the 49-yard line. Alfred Morris had nowhere to go.
And that's what game
for
plan.
our radio partners, guys. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Ravens Game Day Network. Courtney Upshaw had that play read perfectly.
Well,
A WWE type of a pin.
Well, that's what game plan came in. They brought an extra lineman in as a tight end, and then they shifted the line over and left Courtney Upshaw free to the outside. They've seen that before. 2nd
and 12, the left tackle jumps for the Redskins.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Trent Williams, the human wall in his 6th year out of Oklahoma, with the mental mistake that'll back the Redskins up into a 2nd and 17. And now, Stan, you talked about defensive game plans. Now Dean Pease has some options.
Yes, now he's got 2nd and real long. And what you're expecting from the offense is to try to get part of it now. So you got to take away the underneath stuff.
Cousins from the shotgun. 3 receivers bunched to the right. Cousins in trouble. Throws the screen complete across midfield, and pulled down is Chris Thompson. Pulled down by Darrell Smith to the Ravens 47-yard line.
Great job by Darrell Smith.
Yes, he is. He did a great job of being able to look at, identify the screen, but then also run down the running back on that screen.
Well, he blitzed and almost was to the quarterback, and he turned around and ended up making the play downfield 10-15 yards.
On 3rd down and 9, the Ravens will take a timeout.
2nd charge timeout, Baltimore. 30-second timeout.
John Harbaugh and Dean Pease saw something in their defensive formation. So the coach will take a timeout. We invite you to join the Ravens and Miller Lite as we kick off the 2015 season Wednesday the 9th. Join thousands of fans for a 5K and fun run at the stadium. Then head over to the Thursday night party at Power Plant Live featuring Jared Neiman and the Struts. Don't forget the Flock Festival at the Inner Harbor for Purple Friday. Go to BaltimoreRavens.com for the complete schedule of events. Here at M&T Bank Stadium, 10-0 Ravens in front of the Redskins. 3:47 to play. First quarter. John Harbaugh has seen a strong showing from his first team offense and defense tonight, and he wants that defense to put the brakes on Kirk Cousins and the Redskins offense. Dean Pease installing a defensive game plan tonight for the first time this preseason. See if he dials up a blitz here. He does. Cousins throws near side, and it is caught at the 40-yard line. A diving grab by Jordan Reed, and that one is going to be a yard shy of a first down. Kyle Arrington had the coverage.
So now they're going to have a fourth down defense. It's good to get this in preseason, to get this situation. That was just a great play, a great throw, a great catch. There's not much you can do about that, but now the Ravens are going to bring in their run-stopping defense, all their big defensive line, Carl Davis, Brandon Williams, all these guys. It's 4th and 1.
Darrell Young checks in as the up back. Alfred Morris the deep back. They're in the I. Give us to Morris straight ahead. Ravens stop him on the initial contact, and he's not going to get the first down.
Wow. Great timing. Linebacker C.J. Mosley came through and just completely blew up the play. He hit the line just on a dead run.
The Ravens defense stands on 4th down. 3:04 to play first quarter. Ravens 10, Redskins nothing on the Ravens Game Day Network. 3:04 to play first quarter. Ravens lead at 10-0. Ryan Jensen has returned from the locker room after being evaluated under concussion protocol rules. He's talking with team Dr. Andy Tucker, and from what we're seeing in the exchange, Q, it looks like he's also being evaluated for a stinger.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the protocol of testing out the nerve in his neck. Sometimes those bundle of nerves, when the muscle contracts, it leaves your body kind of shocked, if you will, and that's something that they're going through right now.
1st and 10 Ravens at their 40-yard line off the play fake. Flacco rolling out, and he will throw one pass that is almost picked off at the 45-yard line. David Amerson had a break on the ball. I think Flacco was looking for Kyle Juszczyk, who was held up.
Yeah, well, I know this to be. This is a route where they are going to be running an awful lot. They picked it out. They saw Trent Murphy basically read it, and now it's about Joe Flacco going to his second read. Kamar Aiken. Kamar needs to come down the stem of his route and make that catch for Joe.
For the 2nd and 10 Ravens from their 41-yard line. Give us the Forsett working on the left side of the line, and he'll have to work harder than that. He had nowhere to go. Stop, no gain by Keenan Robinson.
What I want to know is all these flags in the preseason, and the guy tackles him in the open field, doesn't get called. I mean, as a linebacker, you're going to get called. I think he just tackled him because he didn't want him to make 20 yards rather than get a 5-yard penalty.
Part of it is, you know, the officials trying to get into regular season form, and that's why they got the preseason for them as well.
Officiating crew led by referee Terry McCauley tonight.
My problem is they're no different.
3rd down and 10. Flacco out of the gun. Blitz pressure coming. He throws complete to Steve Smith Sr. Stiff arms a man. He'll have a first down and more as he's pulled down in front of the Redskins bench at the Washington 46 by D'Angelo Hall.
You just see the fierce competitive nature of Steve Smith Sr. Yeah, let's eat. I'm hungry. Let's go ahead and take it. You know,
what he was saying,
Joe Flacco is looking for guys to make plays for him. There was a lot of duress, you know, as the pocket was closing down, but that strong run after catch, that's just classic Steve Smith Sr.
A 13-yard gain, a Ravens first down in Washington territory. We're set the deep back. He'll get the carry, running behind Juszczyk. Sidesteps a couple of tacklers and gets down to the 43-yard line. Pick up about 3.5 on the play. Stephen Paya on the tackle.
This game is an interesting game call because you know you want to not necessarily game plan for the Redskins, but you do want to establish some level of tempo. And I think for this offense, you know, Mark Trestman wants to find out who are his playmakers and how can he feature them the best.
Joe Flacco 5 of 6 for 100 yards and 1 touchdown in the opening quarter. He fumbles the snap, picks it up, hands it off to Forsett, who cuts against the grain and is going to be buried as he'll lose the 4 yards that the Ravens gained on first down, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and 10.
Sometimes when things don't go right, don't make a bad play worse. Obviously, you're trying to go ahead and pull away from center. I think he maybe might have pulled away too soon, but you know, this is a stretch running game, and so that outside stretch zone blocking scheme, if the timing is off just a little bit, and John Harbaugh is sitting there like, what just happened there? It gets a little bit muddy.
Juszczyk in the backfield, Flacco in the shotgun. It's 3rd down and 10. Flacco under pressure, steps up in the pocket, fires down the seam, complete to Kamar Aiken, who is drilled in the back. Ball comes loose at the 36-yard line, but they're going to whistle it dead on reception at the 33, and now a flag is thrown.
Yeah, I thought they'd call a penalty on that.
A huge pile-up as the Redskins try to advance the fumble. The officials have already blown the play dead, and now Steve Smith Sr. has to be separated.
It's not worth it, Steve. It's not worth it.
Chris Culliver, a former San Francisco 49er, John Harbaugh is running out onto the field.
He knows you got to get his guy away. Hey, Culliver is one Smith Sr. You got to have him come opening day. Come on now.
And the officials are telling Steve Smith Sr. get away from the Redskins bench. John Harbaugh running out on the field to pull his players back.
That looked like a pile drive tackle that they usually.
And now Harbaugh is getting into a shouting match with Jay Gruden.
Wow. Let's see the handshakes after this game.
Jay Gruden said something to Harbaugh after he had run across the field to pull his players back. And John Harbaugh fired right back at Jay Gruden, who is now coming to the officials, complaining that Harbaugh had come across the field.
Yeah, but he was coming across for a good reason.
But by rule, John Harbaugh is not allowed to run across the field, correct?
Well, no, you're not. But
it's preseason.
Keenan Robinson, I think he was the one who kind of started the whole melee.
Look at this tackle. Isn't this a pile drive?
This is Robinson.
Isn't that a pile drive?
There are multiple fouls on the play. Unnecessary roughness, 29 defense, 39 defense, 23 defense, 11 offense, and 89 offense. Number 89 of the offense is disqualified. Number 29 of the defense is disqualified.
Wow.
So Terry McCauley, not jerking around, has ejected both Steve Smith Sr. and Chris Culliver.
That's not a good trade.
No, it is not.
So Steve Smith Sr.'s night will end with 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and he gets a standing ovation from Ravens fans. He leaves with 4 receptions for 95 yards. And that entire thing was triggered by Keenan Robinson's tackle when he pile drove Kamar Aiken. For our TV viewers in the simulcast, look at the right side of your screen. The initial hit was clean. The follow-up pile drive was absolutely illegal.
Yeah, that should have been a penalty of almost one where you get ejected for doing that.
Correct. No, I think, you know, this Washington Redskins team, they're trying to say how tough they are because they're getting beat at the point of attack, and they're way more, let's just say the Ravens have come and brought their hard hats tonight. I think this is the way the Redskins need to play to puff themselves up.
Well, Jay Gruden said something to John Harbaugh, who had gone across the field to pull Steve Smith back, and Harbaugh fired it right back at Jay Gruden. Let me tell you something. Stan, you know this from interviewing the coach at halftime throughout the season. That is one competitive man. And if you're going to exchange words with him in a football game, you better know what you're talking about.
Remind me of in college, Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh. What's up with you? You know, that type of deal.
1st and 10 Ravens at the Washington 33. Flacco drops to throw. Good protection. Beautiful pass. Crockett Gilmore has it at the 10, the 5, and he's in for a touchdown.
Wow.
The second-year tight end is in. A flag is down, and it could possibly negate a great touchdown.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Pass interference, offense number 11. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 93. The penalty's offset. First down.
Okay, I'll tell you this. When it comes to Crockett Gilmore making a play, I guess that it doesn't count because it doesn't. All I know is it's on film, and that's the big thing for Crockett. He wants to put on a display, again, showing Joe Flacco, I could be that security blanket down the middle of the football field for you. That was a great job of run after catch.
Kamar Aiken was called for the hold on the offensive side. Q, I don't know if you can see it or not.
I see him at the bottom of the screen. That was horrible. That was a horrible call.
So a replay of first down, the touchdown negated. A great effort by Crockett Gilmore. Buck Allen in the backfield on first down. He'll carry it, working behind right guard, cuts it along the hash mark, and gets down to the 30-yard line, a gain of 3. Back to the Crockett Gilmore touchdown.
Yes.
We'll talk about that as we start the second quarter.
That is the end of the first quarter.
John Harbaugh unhappy with the penalty, but has to be thrilled to see his team play like Ravens as they lead it 10-0 after the first quarter in Baltimore on the Ravens Game Day Network. Start of the second quarter in Baltimore. Ravens lead it 10-0. John Harbaugh and Redskins head coach Jay Gruden exchanging heated words in the first quarter at the end of a play which led to the ejection of Steve Smith Sr. and Chris Culliver. Harbaugh was trying to pull Steve Smith Sr. back towards the Ravens sidelines when Jay Gruden fired some words at Harbaugh, and John Harbaugh in Gruden's face as this thing reached DEFCON 4 in a hurry. On second down, Flacco throwing down the far sideline looking for Marlon Brown. The pass is deflected inside the 10, knocked down by D'Angelo Hall.
Man, you just want to make that play if you are Marlon Brown. You know, the catch radius is what separates a really good next level wide receiver. You're going up against an established cornerback in D'Angelo Hall, but that catch radius, using your height to go ahead and snatch that ball, that really will go a long way in saying, Joe, throw me the ball in clutch moments.
That's the play he is made to make, right?
Third down and 7, trying to use that height to his advantage. Blitz pressure coming. Flacco under pressure. Pocket collapsing. He escapes and throws the ball incomplete. Closest player was Darren Waller, and Waller was well covered on the play by D'Angelo Hall.
Here's Waller, young rookie, going up against D'Angelo Hall. Originally, Joe Flacco stepped back in the pocket, looked Waller's way. He was getting jammed at the line of scrimmage. Waller didn't have his greatest of releases. And now, all of a sudden, Joe Flacco's going to his second and third reads. It wasn't there, and unfortunately, that brings on Justin Tucker to go ahead and try to make this field goal.
48-yard try for Justin Tucker. Last year, he was 4 for 4 from in between 40 and 50-yard tries. This one from the right hash mark. Morgan Cox with a snap. Sam Cook with a hold. Tucker has the leg, and it is good. 14:44 to play in the first half, and Justin Tucker extends the Ravens lead to 13-0. I want to take you back to our pregame conversation with John Harbaugh when I asked him, what's this third preseason game mean to you? We all talk about it's the dress rehearsal. It's the most important preseason game. And the coach got very animated. He is a competitive man, and he breathes that fire into this team. And I love having those conversations because you get his sense of, once this ball is kicked off, if the regulars are on the field, if the backups are on the field, I don't care. I want to make sure we're competing and we're playing at a high level. And that's what we've seen here in the first half.
Yeah, you could see that last week. He was, even though you knew that what the cause of the problem was, he wants to play better than that. He does not like to feel like we didn't play up to the way we can play. And in this game, he's just fired up because these are the fries. And back to Waller, that's how you negate that size, is by not letting him off the line of scrimmage, right? I mean, that's
jam
sort of
the heck out of him and put him in a position where the quarterback's not going to throw it to you because he doesn't believe you're going to be able to make the play.
Which is a little easier when the guy's a big guy. You got more room to jam, right?
Jam it, exactly right.
Justin Tucker's kick will be fielded by Chris Thompson, 3 yards deep, brings it out of the end zone. Along the numbers 10, 15, and he's spun down at the 20-yard line. Nice hit on the play by Brendan Trawick. Well, the first quarter would end with a double injection. Steve Smith Sr. and Chris Culliver both getting shown to the locker room early, but a beautiful first quarter for Steve Smith Sr. 4 catches, 95 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I love the fact that he came out with a high level of intensity. You know it's a dress rehearsal, but the run-out speed that he has shown, I mean, that dude has some fresh young legs. Steve Smith Sr. running a variety of routes, showing Joe Flacco, look, I can be that go-to guy for you, Steve Smith Sr.
Jerry Stanek with you, live from the broadcast booth, presented by Verizon. On first down, the give is to Thompson, sweeping to the left side, trying to get around the edge, and he will not get far, as he is brought down by C.J. Mosley after a gain of about 2.
You'll give him 2. That's a good, that was a double tight end where they tried to get you to unbalanced. The Ravens balanced up, and they ran a counter play. It was just a good job of setting the edge, and then C.J. Mosley running him down. That's what he does best. He's got great speed, great football intelligence. He can read the play, diagnose it, and run it down.
You're listening to the Ravens Game Day Network, presented by MedStar Health. On first, check that. Before the snap, Terrell Suggs blasting across the line.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 55, unimpeded to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Suggs teed up tonight after a disappointing game a week ago in Philadelphia, and as a 13-year veteran, he understands where we are in the preparation for this season. This is the pinnacle for the veterans. They want to close out their preseason game work on a high note. but at the same time, you still have to be restrained and wait for the snap. Alfred Morris is the back. Cousins under center, hands it off to Morris. Works behind the right guard, and Courtney Upshaw right there to stop him after a short gain.
Yeah, they're doing a great job against the run, and that's what I expect out of them. I think, you know, they were at fourth in the league against the run last year, and they're one of the they're really stout. The front seven, as we talked about in the pregame, really is the strength of this defense. If that secondary comes along like I think it's going to, this could be one very good defense. Dean Pease, the defensive coordinator, I know he hopes so. Job with that defense. You know, last year he was a little short-handed, but they did a great job.
Third down and 2. Washington has to get to the 30-yard line to keep its offense on the field. Cousins rolls to the right, pumps once. Now he's looking back to the middle. Nothing there. Throws a little check down pass complete to the 31-yard line, and that is good for a first down. As the Redskins will keep their offense on the field on the Jamison Crowder reception.
I don't know why you left. I mean, 3rd and 2, you would leave a guy. You had him in the flat, and then you left him uncovered right at the first down marker. You know, he shouldn't have nowhere to throw on that one.
Quick toss and almost intercepted.
Wow.
Cousins was looking for Jamison Crowder, and it looked like Crowder may have stopped early on the route, and it was nearly picked off.
Yeah, I think one of those things where Jamison hears one thing in the huddle, and now all of a sudden he's going out to almost block because he's thinking the other receiver, Ryan Grant, is actually the one that's going to be receiving the play.
12:40 to play. First half at M&T Bank Stadium. Ravens in front, 13-0. Jerry Stanek with you live from the broadcast booth, presented by Verizon. Inside handoff, Alfred Morris is swallowed up and dropped by Brandon Williams. And he's going to lose a couple of yards. Backed up to the 27-yard line. Well, talking about that defense, Stan, last year ranked 8th in the NFL, back in the top 10, where this franchise expects to see its defense.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, people say pass defense 23rd, but part of the reason they were 23rd is because they were 4th against the run, and teams just kept passing and passing. Great call. That was another game plan stop there. They blitzed Darryl Smith into the gap, and there was nowhere to go.
3rd down and 13. Cousins throwing deep far sideline, and he overthrows a wide open Ryan Grant, who was out near the midfield stripe. No flags on the play. Punt team on, and that time the Redskins blew an opportunity to keep the drive alive.
Yeah, well, they overthrew it because he couldn't step into it.
Exactly.
He had to throw it going backwards because the pressure was coming on him at the last second. Chris Canty was going right at his midsection, and that's where the quarterback doesn't want to get hit.
Oh, yeah.
Now back to special teams. Asa Jackson is deep. The Ravens still looking to see who's going to emerge as their returners. Tressway almost had his punt blocked by Arthur Brown. Asa Jackson will let this one bounce and trickle out of bounds. Just shy of the Ravens' 40-yard line, a 33-yard punt. John Harbaugh will see his offense back on the field. The last time the Ravens offense produced a field goal. We'll see how Joe Flacco and company can do when we get back. 11:46 to play first half. Ravens 13, Redskins nothing on the Ravens Game Day Network. 13-0 Ravens in front of the Redskins. 11:46 to play in the first half in Baltimore. Right now, your Baltimore area Burger King restaurants are offering collectible Ravens player cups with a new Ravens player each week for 6 weeks. Collect all 6 with the purchase of a large combo meal or a large soft drink purchase. So score big now, only at Burger King. Limited time only while supplies last. You're listening to the Ravens Game Day Network, presented by MedStar Health. On a beautiful summer night in Baltimore, a full moon Saturday. See if the Ravens can continue to dominate this game. They lead it 13-0. Buck Allen in the backfield. Rookie from USC will carry off left tackle. Doesn't have a lot of room, and he'll just squeeze forward for maybe a half-a-yard gain. You know, they call this the battle of the beltways. The players don't make much of that, but you see fans, Ravens jerseys, Redskins jerseys. There is a slight element of territorial pride.
Back in the day, Jerry, there was a lot more. Back when the Colts and Redskins used to play, it was a bloodbath in those days.
Interesting to see how families sometimes come together or divide over teams from 2 different beltways.
Columbia.
Even the referee, Terry McCauley, was from Howard County. Have to split the difference. Pass on, second down intended for Darren Waller. Flacco threw it just behind the rookie from Georgia Tech. Couldn't make the reach grab And that'll be third down coming up.
And see, here's where Joe Flacco is probably saying, look, you got to get your depth first, then come in on that slant. I'd be curious to see Waller, as Joe Flacco tries to get used to him, how he's coached up and how he handles these adjustments. He's playing an awful lot now because of the fact that Steve Smith Sr. is not involved in the game any longer.
Ravens were 14th in the NFL on third down conversions a year ago. It's third down and 10. Flacco with great protection, fires near sideline, and that is caught. Kamar Aiken on the receiving end at the Washington 43. David Amerson had the coverage. And if you wonder what an 8-year veteran with a strong arm brings you, this play will tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, just nice route by Kamar Aiken, really getting the proper depth, but you can just see how he turned the corner, hips opened him up, and then came underneath, going back downhill again to make that catch for Joe Flacco.
Mark Trestman's going to have a lot of fun calling plays, knowing he has Flacco's arm strength to get him out of binds. Flacco to throw on first down, look to his left, he's under pressure, ball comes loose, and it is picked up on the hop by Crockett Gilmore, but they're going to say Flacco flicked the ball forward, incomplete.
Looked like Kenny Stabler in the
holy roller
fumble. Holy roller, right, exactly.
Listen, it's funny, though, and it's kind of not, but Joe Flacco, he's actually trying to throw the ball away quickly because they're playing a lot of man-to-man coverage on the outside. Jason Hatcher for the Redskins had him in the grass as he got rid of the ball, but you got to beat press coverage on the outside for Joe Flacco to throw you the football.
Second and 10, Ravens at the Washington 43. Buck Allen will get the carry. Nice hesitation move, works his way through a crowd. He'll pick up a couple down to the 41-yard line. Well, when you talk about Joe Flacco's arm strength, he also likes to move the ball around, Q.
Yeah, he does. I think, part of, his game and what Trestman is needing to do is allow him to have a variety of receivers. He's one of those guys or those quarterbacks where as long as my guys know where they're at and make plays for me, I don't care the name on the back of the jersey. I'm going to get you the ball because he has that much confidence in the players around him.
Mark Trestman's offense 3 of 5 on third down conversions tonight. Under blitz pressure, Flacco throws another strike, and this time it's Jeremy Butler who will have it right at the first down marker at the Washington 33. And Jeremy Butler, Q, one of the guys who's trying to earn a roster spot.
Yeah, and that on third down, that's going to definitely help you out. You're going up against a D'Angelo Hall too. And D'Angelo Hall trying to be aggressive and break on it before he can get the first down, but you see the strength to go ahead and move the chains.
And also knowing where the first down is. That's a key for a receiver to make sure you get that first down, knowing where the markers are.
Flacco bunches 3 receivers to the left on first and 10 at the Washington 33. Forsett alone in the backfield. He'll get the carry right up the middle. Big C, 25. Drop there. But Justin Forsett had a nice opening right up the middle, and he'll gain 8.
I love a little power football here now and then. You go ahead and just push guys out the way, a little hat on the hat. Open up the backside. Nice job by Wagner and Urschel just moving the line.
Here's Forsett on second and short, running off the right side of the line. He'll be stopped after a gain of about a half a yard, gets down to the 25. To go back to that first down play, Nick Boyle, the rookie tight end out of Delaware, with a nice block as well.
Yeah, he had a good, strong kick-out block. Sometimes you just have to just be patient and get good leverage on a guy. It's not about being overly physical, but great job by him.
Duke Ganacho is the injured Washington Redskin. Medical staff on the field. We'll step aside. 13-0 Ravens lead it on the Ravens Game Day Network. 8:25 left first half at M&T Bank Stadium. Ravens lead the Redskins 13-0. Jerry Stanek with you live from the broadcast booth, presented by Verizon. Duke Ganacho shaken up on this last play. Ganacho, number 24, just got plowed by Nick Boyle, that young tight end from Delaware. Stan, you're saying the Ravens have kind of established how they're going to use these 3 young tight ends, run and pass.
Yeah, right now they're using Nick Boyle and Crockett Gilmore. Gilmore 6'6", 275, Boyle 6'4", 270. As sort of their 2 tight end run formation, and doing a great job at it.
8th play of the drive, 3rd and 2. Terrence McGee slamming into the right side. He'll get down to the 23. Had to get to the 23 for a first down. They're going to mark him about a half a yard shy And now John Harbaugh has to decide whether or not Justin Tucker comes on or if Joe Flacco and the offense stay on the field.
Yes.
Well, how cool is that, though, that Terrence McGee gets an opportunity to run the football with the first-team unit in a critical situation.
Here come those two big tight ends and a fullback into the game.
They call that U, or heavy formation.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do here. The penalty on
flag
something.
is thrown because the play clock had expired.
That can't be.
Which leads Terry McAulay and his crew to discuss whether or not it was reset prematurely.
Yeah.
Or not reset at all.
Certainly
because
wasn't 40 seconds.
John Harbaugh will await the explanation. I think you'll see a play clock reset here.
Delay game, offense.
Maybe not.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
John Harbaugh saying the same thing we're saying, that there's no way 40 seconds came off. Terrence McGee on the carry on that last play with a burst.
Oh, wow.
Tell you what, he
Bad
may have
spot.
picked up the first down.
Yeah.
He can still challenge it at this point.
Ravens have one timeout remaining. They lost a timeout on a failed challenge in the first quarter.
He has one more left.
No challenge flag forthcoming, so
Coaches in the booth have to.
Justin Tucker will try a 46-yard field goal from the right hash mark. Plenty of leg, but this one will veer wide left. No good. John Harbaugh does not often see Justin Tucker miss from inside of 50, but he did there. 7:21 to play first half. It's still the Ravens 13, Redskins nothing on the Ravens Game Day Network. 7:21 to play first half. Ravens lead it 13-0 down to the field. And Brent Harris. Brent, what is the explanation John Harbaugh is getting from Terry McAulay?
Jerry, on that 4th down and 1 play, Coach Harbaugh was asking for a measurement. He wanted the referees to stop and go out and measure to see if the ball was actually closer or even a first down. They didn't give him a measurement. The play clock then ran out, and they got the penalty, of course, kicking the field goal. But all through that timeout, head coach John Harbaugh and Terry McAulay were conversing over whether or not they should have given the measurement there.
Well, the officials also missed what was a first down by McGee. Kirk Cousins will throw, and it is incomplete at the 46-yard line. Cousins target on the play.
Holding, offense number 76. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Andre Roberts the target, the penalty.
Is that a makeup call there or what?
Yeah, something.
Moses with the hold. But
That's what John Gruden's saying. Wait a minute. Or Jay, pardon me.
if it was John Gruden, he'd be saying things like,
Yeah.
he's blowing my mind.
Yeah, definitely 76 was holding on that play. No doubt about that.
Jay Gruden is
Working
having
Moses.
the tough task of trying to get this offense on track, but not tonight.
Matt Jones in the backfield. Kirk Cousins in the shotgun. Second, check that, 1st and 20. Cousins will throw complete near side for a short gain after about the 33-yard line. On the receiving end, Jamison Crowder. Rashawn Melvin had the coverage. So Rashawn Melvin, Stan, a guy who shows up last year during the playoff run, and this year has had a chance from the OTAs through training camp to try to establish himself. How's he doing?
Well, he's doing well. I mean, talking to Dean Pease, he's a guy who's really maturing. He may end up being the starter at that position if Ladarius Webb can't come back full speed.
2nd down and 13. Jones in the backfield. Cousins from the shotgun. Looks to the right. Lobs it. He's got a man wide open, but the flag is down. Across midfield with the ball is Matt Jones. They're going to mark him out of bounds right at the 50, but this play could be coming back.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense number 90. Penalties decline. 1st down.
Zadarius Smith, the rookie out of Kentucky, 4th-round draft pick. Charged with the penalty. Play stands, and the Redskins out midfield.
Yeah, Zadarius is a guy that has to learn, did a good job of getting his hands underneath, but they slipped right up into the face mask. You can see it right here, right in the middle of the screen. You're going to get called for that every time.
1st and 10 Washington. The ball is at the midfield stripe. Matt Jones continues in the backfield. Cousins under center, 4-man front for the Ravens. They bring the blitz off the edge, and Jones is tripped up as the Ravens brought safety pressure. And Terrence Brooks, playing for the first time this preseason, the 2nd-year safety out of Florida State, coming strong off the edge.
Yeah, they're doing a great job defensively, but you really want to finish this. How many times has John Harbaugh talked about, I need a stop at the end of the half? We're down at 5:45 right now. Quite 2 minutes yet, but it's close to that 4-minute mark. And you want to stop and give the offense one more chance.
Jerry Stanek Q with you live from the broadcast booth, presented by Verizon. Ravens showed blitz. Terrell Suggs showing it off the edge. Here he comes. Cousins throws complete near side. And spinning free down to the 41-yard line is Ryan Grant on the reception. He'll set up a 3rd down and 1. Darryl Smith had to come over to make the stop after Ryan Grant was able to avoid a couple of defensive backs.
Yeah, you got to make tackles. That's what this is all about. We talk about you don't get very many chances to make tackles. Right there, you got to make that tackle. That's something that
Jackson
you got to get used to, and you got to do it in the preseason.
Kirk Cousins going to hurry up. Matt Jones has the carry. He's got inside the 30 to the 25, and finally brought down to the 23-yard line. 17. C.J. Mosley had to track him down, but not before the Redskins get a big chunk of yardage and a 1st down for Matt Jones.
Yeah, Darryl Smith just tried to run around the block on that one, and he got caught. Sometimes you have to do that, but if you get caught, that's what can happen.
Off the play fake, Cousins rolling to his right. He'll throw incomplete at the 10-yard line, looking for Andre Roberts. Zadarius Smith was applying the pressure, and we're starting to see the wealth of talent this young edge rusher has from the Ravens. Drafted him to replace Pernell McPhee. To give you an idea of the size shoes he has to replace, J.J. Watt is the only player in the NFL who had more quarterback hits than Pernell McPhee a year ago.
Part of Zadarius' learning curve is about having a variety of moves to use to get to the quarterback, not just think one move that worked in college will make him successful.
Alfred Morris has checked into the backfield for Washington. It's 2nd down and 10. Cousins throws to Morris out of the backfield, and Darryl Smith is right there to drop him after a gain of 2.
Yeah, great coverage by Darryl. He sort of hid behind the little bunch over there and then darted out at the last second. They thought he was going to be completely free, but Darryl Smith made a good job of avoiding all the rubs out there and getting to his man in the flat.
Close the gap, buzz your feet, make the tackle.
Sets up a 3rd down and 9. 4 minutes even left to play in the opening half. The Ravens lead it by 13 nothing. You're listening to the Ravens Game Day Network, presented by MedStar Health. Cousins with 2 on the play clock. Gets the snap free. Suggs with a blitz pressure. Pass is deflected and caught for a walk-in touchdown. On the receiving end of the deflected ball, Jamison Crowder. And Washington on the board for the 1st time tonight.
That's just bad luck there. Yeah. I mean, what else can you say? It was a good blitz, a good coverage. That could have very well just intercepted and run the other way, as it was just happened. That's the way the ball bounces. Like you said, that's why there's points on that thing. It bounces crazily.
Jamison Crowder, a trailer on the play, came up with a touchdown on a play where the Ravens had great pressure off the edge from Suggs, great coverage, and then the ball deflected up in the air right into the hands of Crowder, who walks in for the touchdown. Now on for the extra point try is Kai Forbath. His kick is good. And the Ravens lead is trimmed to 6 with 3:39 to play on the heels of the Redskins' first score of the night on the Ravens Game Day Network. 13-7, Ravens in front of the Redskins, 3:39 to play in the opening half. Always like to talk with Ravens fans on social media during the game. So if you have a question you'd like to tweet us, you can tweet it to us. We'll get to the answers in the second half tonight. Just use hashtag #RavensGame, and we will get to those tweets in the second half. Joe Flacco's had a strong game here in the final preseason game he'll play in. 8 of 13, 137 yards, 1 touchdown. And you have to think his night is done because he's not donning a helmet. And he has instead put on a smile and a relaxed posture. So we are likely to see Matt Schaub here coming off the kickoff, which trickles out of bounds. In the regular season, you'll be happy to take the flag and put the ball at the 40-yard line. But this preseason,
1st down.
John Harbaugh and Jerry Rossberg wanted to see kick returns. They have not had kick returns, and that makes it hard to figure out who the kick returner will be for the Ravens come September.
You want the kick returner, but you also want guys that you know you can rely upon to block and do their job effectively. If they're blocking on the kickoff return, you might have a guy that can be on your punt return team. There's a lot of options there, but you need to evaluate them and have film. And Jerry Rosberg, you see there, he's trying to figure out, you know, okay, who do I have? Who can I say is a guy that's playing like a Raven?
So Joe Flacco's work for the preseason is done, at least his game work. He will not play next Thursday night on the road in Atlanta. Matt Schaub takes over. Schaub now in his 12th NFL season. He has Justin Forsett behind him, 3 receivers to the left. Forsett will carry, running to the right. And he is stacked up after he crosses the 40-yard line after a gain of 1.
See, this is where you don't want the intensity to lapse at all. You know that Joe Flacco, your starting guy, is on the sideline, but you know, with Joe out, hey, Matt is in. Let's not let anything like at all go to waste. We want every drive, every play to be as maximum efficiency as possible. Again, this is all about evaluating for the regular season.
2nd down and 9 for the Ravens at their 41. Nick Boyle, the rookie tight end, comes in motion to the left. Schaub fires incomplete. He one-hopped it in front of a wide-open Kamar Aiken at the 47-yard line.
See, that's the intensity that you can't lose. You have to be able to execute the pitch and catch plays. That was a pitch and catch play. Should have been from Schaub to Aiken and moving it into a second or a 3rd and short.
And they've dominated the first half. The Ravens had, I mean, Washington scores on a fluke play. And now, you know, if they give the ball back to them, they could possibly be down at halftime after dominating the whole first half.
Which would create another 2-minute nightmare for John Harbaugh, who is tired of the anxiety in the final 2 minutes of the half. 3rd down and 9. Blitz pressure coming. Schaub is hit, and he is dropped back at the 34-yard line.
Okay, so they showed blitz pressure, but they also dropped out of man coverage into a zone look. Matt Schaub was looking for a guy to go to. Preston Smith got there before Matt Schaub could let go of the football. You got to win on your route on the outside. I don't think the guys have won on their routes consistently enough for whether it be in this particular case, Matt Schaub.
Well, John Harbaugh can't be happy to see his backup quarterback come in, the offense stall, and for the first time tonight, we will see Sam Cook on the punt. Matt Schaub has played efficiently in the first 2 preseason games. I thought he was extremely sharp in this preseason opener against the Saints, but the offense gets no traction on his first work for the night. Jamison Crowder will be deep for the Redskins as Sam Cook gets set for his first punts here in week 3. Sam Cook coming off of a career year. Last year he led the NFL in net average. Net is the difference between how far the punt travels and how far it is returned. And that tells you have a good punter and good coverage. Cook hits a beauty. Crowder fields it inside the 15, loses his footing, and will be down at the 17-yard line. A 52-yard punt, a 3-yard return, a net of 49. A flag is down as there is some pushing and shoving at the end of that play. A flag is down at the spot of the tackle. Terry McCauley, our referee, waiting for the call. Here it is.
There's a foul on each team. Personal foul, necessary roughness, receiving team number 25. Personal foul, necessary roughness, kicking team number 30. The penalty's offset after the play. 1st down.
So it was a nothing. So now it is time for the defense to step up here and get that last 2 minutes, 2:34 left in the half. Get that stop. Don't let them come down and score here, or Brent Harris is going to have another tough halftime interview.
Wear Kevlar vest.
Like I said, they've done such a good job this for it. The defense has really played well. The offense has moved the ball.
Yes.
But a couple plays, the ball bounces, can even up a game.
And a missed field goal by Justin Tucker,
which rarely happens.
Yes.
2:34 to play, opening half. Redskins drive starts at the Washington 17. Pass is complete out to the 22-yard line on the receiving end for the Redskins. Ryan Grant. Asa Jackson had the coverage.
Play 7-8 yards deep. That just is a very inviting play to run a quick hitch route to your outside receiver. And Grant that time ran a simple little hitch for a good gain.
On 2nd down, Cousins again looks to the right, throws over the middle. It's bobbled incomplete. Zach Orr had a nice break on the ball and almost had a pick.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 31 and number 91. 15-yard penalty. The foul against number 91 is declined. 1st down.
So Terrence Brooks and Courtney Upshaw reaching the quarterback too late simultaneously.
You also, yeah, you also can't lower like that. You got to get your shoulder in there. I think he might have had too much helmet in there too.
Terrence Brooks getting his first game action since returning from a knee surgery that ended his season last year in Week 15. 1st and 10 Washington at the Redskins 38. 2:09 to play in the half. Cousins, his pass batted down right back into Cousins' hands. He'll run with it. He's across the 40 and slides down at the 41-yard line.
That's a completed pass. He cannot throw it again. That is a completed pass, so that's all he could do.
And that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning with the Redskins on the move. The Ravens in the lead, 13-7 on the Ravens game data. 2 minutes left in the opening half. Ravens in front of the Redskins, 13-7. Rookie tight end Max Williams, a second-round draft pick out of Minnesota, on the sideline in street clothes, helping Matt Schaub warm up. It's been Nick Boyle playing most of the tight end. Let's go down to the field with Brent Harris. Brent, what's the story with Max Williams out of uniform tonight?
Well, Max didn't suit up, not playing in this game tonight. Now, he did practice this week. So as far as any injuries, that is, I guess, a big question at this point. I asked the Ravens official, and they don't have to disclose injuries in the preseason or let anybody know if they're going to play or not play. So at this point, we're really not sure. Jared?
Thank you, Brent. 2 minutes to play in the opening half. 2nd down and 7. Cousins' pass across the middle is complete. Chris Thompson on the reception. He'll get the ball out to the 49-yard line. That's good for a Redskins first down.
That's a tough one. They're up there faking the blitz. Then they got to drop extra fast. And when you throw the check down, you're heading backwards to come up on him. That opens up that check down.
Cousins running the 2-minute drill. Thompson in the backfield. Cousins pass complete at the 42-yard line. And coming down with the reception is Jamison Crowder. Trey Walker had the coverage. Another first down. Back-to-back first downs for the Redskins.
And that's where Za'Darius Smith has got to get a little more depth. He dropped out of the defensive line, but he only got like 3 yards deep.
Cousins to throw on first down. Screen pass. Thompson sidesteps one tackle, gets by another, then loses his balance and tumbles down at the 39-yard line.
It's a good job by the first man on that screen.
Charge timeout, Washington. 30-second timeout.
So Jake Gruden will take his second timeout. Jake Gruden did not have RG3 at quarterback tonight, though we did see RG3 warming up. And by all accounts, he looked fine. But the story is, earlier in the week, the independent neurologist cleared RG3 to play in tonight's game, and then yesterday, after revisiting all of the data and information, decided that RG3 was not going to be cleared to play tonight, which is completely confusing because the idea behind an independent neurologist, independent of the team's influence, the idea behind that was to bring safety and clarity to concussion injuries. This one erring on the side of safety, obviously, but questionable clarity. Second down pass is complete inside the 30-yard line. That's Ryan Grant on the reception and a gain of.
Yeah, they're bringing all different types of blitzes and zone blitzes, but the people they're dropping are not getting back in the right zones.
Under a minute to play. 46 seconds left in the half. Clock is running. Cousins throws quickly. Grant has the reception, spins out the tackle. Down the sideline, 15, 10, 5, lunges, and he is out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Well, the worst thing we've been talking about is on the verge of happening. Giving him another chance. Trey Walker you can't whiff when you have a man-to-man. You got to come up and make that tackle. He whiffs, and all of a sudden he's down the sideline, and they're within 2 yards of taking the lead here in the first half after being dominated.
A 25-yard gain. Thompson in the backfield. He'll get the carry right side, stretches forward, and he's got a touchdown. And the Redskins now an extra point away from taking the lead. In a half, the Ravens dominated with 32 seconds left in the half. Jay Gruden's squad on the verge of going in front. And for John Harbaugh, the nightmare continues. He told us earlier in the preseason he would like for once in 8 years to not have things go south in the final 2 minutes of the half. We saw it against the Saints, and we see it again tonight against the Redskins. Brent Harris will be talking with the coach at the conclusion of tonight's first half.
See, I'm not sure Kirk Cousins isn't the best quarterback on that team.
I think there are a lot of people who feel the same way. Kai Forbath is on for the extra point try. His kick is up and good. For our radio partners on tonight's simulcast, let's step aside 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Ravens Game Day Network. 14-13, Washington in front of the Ravens. 32 seconds left in the half. And John Harbaugh will be talking with Brent Harris at the conclusion of this first half.
Hashtag pray for Brent.
Yes, I've been there. Saw how he reacted to Jay Gruden.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that too, but you know, that's just competitiveness. When you have things go wrong at halftime, you're a coach. You are not a happy camper. I don't care what level it is. And as competitive as John Harbaugh is, it doesn't matter that it's preseason. He always wants to show well, to play well, and to do the right things and show that you're a sound, disciplined football team.
Yeah, and this is unacceptable for 2 weeks in a row to have a mental error. Basically what it comes down to, you know your technique, you got to go out and execute it. You just can't have a mental lapse like that.
John Harbaugh saw Kirk Cousins go 7 for 7 passing on that drive. That took only 2 minutes and 2 seconds to produce the go-ahead touchdown for the Redskins. Kai Forbath will kick it off. Asa Jackson for his first kick return tonight. See if he gets one here. Forbath. Kick taken by Jackson, 6 yards deep, brings it out across the 10, 15, 20, 25, 40, 35, 40, hits the accelerator, tripped the midfield, still going, 40, he's to the 30, the 20, leg race, turn, Asa Jackson is tripped up and brought down inside the 5.
Wow, you talk about making a big splash play, especially after really struggling at defensive back and giving up some plays. Asa Jackson needed that return. They were looking for somebody to come up and grab a hold of the return job. You can see Jerry Rosburg. He's excited right now of what just took place. That's just some fine running by Asa Jackson. Just setting up some blocks, and now it's just bursting through the hole.
I saw
great
Brent
open field blocking, and now all of a sudden it's about putting on the afterburners. Oh, don't let him catch you.
I saw Brent Harris running down the sideline with him, cheering. Going to go, Asa. Now they got to get the ball in the end zone.
Justin Rogers with
a 103-yard return for Asa Jackson. Buck Allen is in the backfield. Schaub under center. 18 seconds left in the half. Schaub steps away, shouts out instructions to his rookie running back. Schaub takes the snap, looking left, lobs it to the back of the end zone, but that sails out of everybody's reach. Marlon Brown was the target.
Yeah, I think part of what you're seeing is, you know, this is the third preseason game, and one in Rodgers, 25, trying to show that he could be a safety valve and not allow a guy to score, and one in the Ravens, Asa Jackson, saying, look, hey, put me back there, coach. I can make a big play, make a special play. He's been known, he has a knack for making a special play. Looked like he busted out the Dolphin right there. He's a mountain man.
14 seconds left in the half. Schaub sets in the gun. Buck Allen to his right. Schaub looking to throw, fires quickly off the outstretched hands of Jeremy Butler along the left sideline. Third down and goal coming up from the Washington 2.
Yeah, Jeremy Butler going up against David Amerson. Amerson is having a lot of guys go after him, but he's so far holding up strong. This is where, you know, you got to make a play in the red zone. If you're a wide receiver trying to make the team, Jeremy Butler, 6'2", 218. Now you got to use your size and body to go ahead and snatch that ball for the score.
Butler splits wide to the left. Marlon Brown wide to the right. Schaub out of the shotgun. On third and goal, inside handoff. Buck Allen weaving, working, stretching, and he'll be stopped just shy of the goal line by Keenan Robinson. And the Ravens will take their final timeout with 7 seconds left in the half. And John Harbaugh will make the decision on whether to keep the offense on the field or send the kicking team on for the lead.
I think Robinson just kind of snuffed it out real quickly, but here's what Buck Allen, you know, you get a prime opportunity to go ahead and punch the ball in. You got to be physical and break through that arm tackle and get the ball into the end zone. I mean, that shows an awful lot as far as your toughness and physicality. Mark Trestman now is looking at his play call sheet, trying to dial up a really good special play. It might be one of those things where you're faking it one direction and rolling out the other and trying to hit a wide receiver in the flat or a running back in the flat.
Doesn't matter. I mean, you got one play here. It can be a run or a pass. Down.
but I think they're going to do a little play action.
Ball is right at the 1. If John Harbaugh has Joe Flacco in a quarterback, I think it's a quarterback keeper. Put that 6'6" body to work and just lean it in.
That was something that Gary Kubiak last year did an awful lot of, which was a quarterback sneak.
Schaub under center, Buck Allen in the backfield. 4th and goal from the 1. Allen carries left side. He's in for the go-ahead touchdown, but the ball comes loose prior to the signal. A pile up in the end zone. No touchdown signal yet.
They'll have to review this, Jerry, to see if he crossed the goal line before the fumble.
Well, it's only automatically reviewed if they rule it a touchdown first. But if they rule it a touchdown first, the fumble is irrelevant.
Well, no, it could be a turnover, sir. They're all.
That's true. A turnover would be
reviewed also.
Terry McCauley and his staff huddling.
The runner fumbled the ball prior to crossing the plane of the goal line, and the ball was recovered in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be returned to the spot of the fumble.
Right.
And it'll be first down Washington.
And that is because inside the 2-minute window.
So it's not even a turnover to get reviewed. So
only
they're
the
have to
player who
it.
fumbles the ball on 4th down can recover the fumble.
Yeah, this is football no 101. When running with the football, if you want to stay in the game in a critical situation, you got to be able to hold on to the ball and be reliable. That was Chris Baker, number 92, putting that big old paw right down there on the ball and causing Buck Allen to fumble it.
Yeah, he fumbled before he got to the goal line.
Yeah, he did. But to the point is that as a young running back, you know, John Harbaugh is sitting there saying to himself, look, man, you got to be more reliable than that.
See, if that wasn't 4th down or in the last 2 minutes, that would have been a touchdown.
Right.
So the ball bounces strangely, and the Redskins benefit from a bobbled ball for a touchdown. The Ravens, even though they recover it, because 2 minutes and 4th down, either one of those would have been the case. You can't, only the guy who fumbles it can recover it.
Kirk Cousins has to be careful here because he can't take a knee. That would be a safety. Instead, he'll roll out, let the final seconds expire, and he'll heave the ball into the Ravens bench on the final play, of the first half. So we have reached halftime at M&T Bank Stadium. The Redskins in front 14-13, and it has been quite the interesting half, to say the least. Joe Flacco and the offense got the Ravens off to a 13-0 edge. And now Washington has answered 2 touchdowns, and the Redskins lead it by a point at halftime. Let's head down to the field. Brent Harris standing by with John Harbaugh.
Coach, what was your perspective to Steve Smith getting ejected? And it looked like you and Jay Gruden may have had words there.
I have nothing to say about that, Brent. You want to talk football, though? I'd be happy to talk football with you.
End of the half, missed opportunities, do you feel?
Well, you don't want to fumble the ball.
What about the 2-minute defense giving up the touchdown at the end?
We don't want to give up touchdowns in 2 minutes at the end. Give me a good question, I'll answer it.
All right, thanks, Coach. Share back to you.
Thank you, Brent. Halftime. The Ravens trail by 1. Joe Flacco with 13 points to start the game, but the Redskins with 14 unanswered points of their own, and that's where we stand. 14-13. Redskins in front of the Ravens. 14-13. Ravens trailing the Redskins at the start of the second half. Stan, those first quarter numbers were very lopsided in the Ravens' favor.
Yeah, it was 136-72 in total yards, and obviously the Ravens 10-0 lead. It could have been 16. They missed the field goal, and then they just didn't capitalize the rest of the half, and the Redskins did. They got the good bounce. They got the fumble. They did the little things that put them in a 14-13 lead when the Ravens basically for a quarter and a half completely dominated the game.
Justin Tucker will kick off to Rashad Ross. You're listening to the Ravens Game Day Network, presented by MedStar Health. Tucker's kick will be fielded by Ross. 4 yards deep, brings it out across the 10. Near side 20 at the turn, along the sideline 25, and then he is dropped just shy of the 30-yard line. Fitzgerald Toussaint, Chris Greenwood on the special teams tackles, and those become huge, guys, as this second half unfolds and the battle for jobs intensifies. The first NFL cuts Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Every team has to have the roster trimmed down to 75 from 90.
Yeah, by the time we get to the regular season, more than a third, almost 40% of these players in the league will be gone.
Change of quarterback for the Redskins, as Colt McCoy will take over on first down, hands off to Matt Jones. And Jones is stuffed running behind the left side of the Redskins line for a gain of maybe a yard. Colt McCoy, the 6th-year quarterback out of Texas. Played for the Browns, a 3rd-round draft pick back in 2010. He's also had a stop with the 49ers.
Had a great college career at Texas.
From 06 to 09 at Texas, he won or shared the team's MVP all 4 years.
Impressive. That's Texas, too.
But he has only been a journeyman in the NFL. 2nd down and 9. 4-man front for the Ravens. They'll bring a blitz up the middle. Colt McCoy sidesteps one tackler, gets out of the grasp of a second, and throws a completion down to the 45-yard line.
Wow.
Zach Orr had a shot at him. Trey Walker had a shot at him.
Yeah, it was strange.
Christo Villikiti had a shot at him.
Yeah, I mean,
it was Carl Davis who had the first miss.
I don't know what he must not have seen him. He ran by him, didn't he stick his arm out?
Yeah.
I mean, Carl Davis has got a big arm too. If he sticks that arm out, down goes Colt. But he must not even have seen him.
And instead, it's Rashad Ross who gets the completion, and the Redskins get a first down out at their 44. Matt Jones will get the first down. Runs between the hash marks. Big hit from Carl Davis, who spins him down at the 47-yard line.
Guess Carl saw him that time.
Zach
Yes.
Orr finishing off the tackle.
And that's what happens when Carl sees you.
So Zach Orr is a guy we had a chance to visit with this week. His dad, Terry, played tight end for the Redskins back in the 80s and early 90s. He's a guy who made this roster a year ago as an undrafted rookie free agent, and he said he does not feel safe at all. Even in year 2, he's still treating it like he's got to earn his spot every day. And that's the attitude you want to foster with young players, young vets. On 2nd down and 7. Colt McCoy off the play fake, rolls to the right. Lawrence Guy has a shot, missed the tackle, dunked the pass complete. And coming down with a first down reception is Jordan Campbell. And for a 2nd time in this drive, Colt McCoy with a Houdini move to get out of the way of a sure sack.
Yeah, just his athletic ability is making these plays. I mean, you've got to just break down and not just keep running all stand. Got to be able to make that tackle. And that's just a great play by Colt McCoy. The defense was there. The defense did not make the play.
I think there's going to be a quarterback controversy in Washington.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Colt McCoy isn't the 2nd best quarterback on this team.
1st and 10 Washington at the Ravens 43. Whistle prior to the snap.
First charge timeout, Washington. 30-second timeout.
So obviously Washington's coaching staff, perhaps the offensive coordinator for Jay Gruden, Sean McVay, saw something that they didn't like in that formation, and they take the timeout. Now, Sean McVay has a family with deep roots in this league. His dad, John, was a former New York Giants offensive coordinator, his grandfather, rather, who played a major role in NFL history. If you go back to the Meadowlands, Herm Edwards was a defensive back for the Philadelphia Eagles. The head coach was Bill Arnsparger, and Sean McVay's grandfather, John McVay, was the offensive coordinator who called the play that became known as the Miracle in the Meadowlands when it was Joe Pisarcik fumbled the handoff. Herm Edwards scooped it up on the run and took it in, and the broadcaster of that game was Redskins broadcaster now, Sonny Jurgensen, who was calling the game for CBS. Matt Jones gets the carry on 1st down.
Well, yeah,
and he'll get the ball down inside the 37 to close to the 36. So every time at the end of a half or a game when you see a quarterback take a knee,
that's why.
You now know why. That's why, because of the Miracle in the Meadowlands, what used to be a routine handoff and now is the safety play.
And John McVay wasn't the offensive coordinator the next day.
Right.
If you remember that. So
and Bill Arnsparger wasn't the head coach at the end of that season. One crazy play that changed his NFL history. On 2nd down and 4. Matt Jones in the backfield. He'll get the carry, tries to get around the right edge, and he will. Flag is down. As Jones powers his way inside the 30, running over.
Offense number 87.
They held Brendan Meyer.
2nd down.
Meyer did a good job of setting the edge, and he was coming off to make the tackle, and the tight end just held him. You can watch, it's on number 45 right there, just grabs him. You can see on the outside, pulls him down. Otherwise, it'd have been a loss anyhow of as he had dipped back behind the line of scrimmage to get outside.
Penalty will push the ball back to the Ravens' 47-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 14 from there. Opening drive, 3rd quarter. Jerry standing cue with you live from the broadcast booth, presented by Verizon. Colt McCoy out of the shotgun, inside handoff, and there's room to run as Matt Jones works his way all the way down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. He'll pick up about 13 on the play, and instead of second and long, it's third and very short.
Yeah, that's sort of that counter play where they bring the tight end behind the line of scrimmage and kick out that end that we're talking about that they're trying to freeze on the read option.
On third down and 1, Matt Jones with a carry. He's got a lot of room. He's all the way down to the 20-yard line. A gain of 14, and back-to-back 13-yard run and 14-yard run before Anthony Levine can make the tackle.
Yeah, all of a sudden, they just aren't playing.
Well, that's
Arthur
run
Brown. Defense. Yeah,
Arthur Brown and Zach Orr both getting swallowed up by the guards that are coming out on them.
Well, Arthur Brown's got to run to his hole, and he stopped.
Colt McCoy to throw off the play action. Rolling all the way to the right, slings it. It is caught, and they will say he has it
No.
inbound.
He's bobbling that ball all the way out of bounds.
Well, they called a reception for Reggie Bell. John Harbaugh lost a challenge in the first half.
Now
Colt McCoy bought himself a lot of time.
Oh, that's interesting. But he didn't go to the ground.
Go to the ground, so it doesn't mean you have to hold on. Doesn't mean you have to complete the catch. They're saying he completed that, then bobbled it afterwards. So I probably can't disagree with that.
It is first and goal in the Grill Mates red zone. Ball just outside the Ravens 9. Chris Thompson in the backfield. Quick toss near side. Coming down with the ball is Rashad Ross, who will be taken down at the 5-yard line with a gain of 4. Zach Orr coming over to make the stop.
So it's a funny thing on that last play. If he'd been hit and going to the ground, that would have been an incomplete pass. But because he remained upright, he didn't have to maintain the catch past making the catch and taking a step.
They'll spot the ball right at the 5-yard line. It's second down and goal. Redskins with the opening possession in the third quarter. 9.5 minutes left in the quarter. Washington's lead 1 point, 14-13. Colt McCoy out of the gun. Fires to the end. Complete. Asa Jackson broke it up.
Asa Jackson's making a little statement, isn't he? The kick return, and then that play here in the end zone, taking away that slant. Good job of getting over top without interference.
Yeah, Asa Jackson, I know this to be true. He has that playmaking ability. Whether or not he is an every down corner remains to be seen, but he absolutely has ability to be in that position, to be a nickel corner at worst.
Asa Jackson breaking up the play that was intended for Rashad Ross. Washington 6 of 8 on third downs tonight. Colt McCoy wants to throw on third and goal. Has time back to the end zone. Pass is caught for a touchdown as Rashad Ross comes back and beats Asa Jackson for the play, and the Redskins will extend their lead.
Yeah, he took an outside technique on it, and the man went inside, and he couldn't make up the ground. I don't know where his help was coming from or if he'd had help at all. But I saw him take an outside technique on the receiver, try to take away that fade, back shoulder fade, and the receiver just ran a little inside, dig pattern, in pattern, and was wide open.
Football 101, at the goal line, you always got to go ahead and take away the inside first.
Oh, yeah. Make it be the tough throw.
Kai Forbath on for the extra point try. Forbath's kick is good, and with 9:13 to play in the third quarter, the Redskins lead now is 8, 21-13 on the Colt McCoy touchdown here on the Ravens Game Day Network. 9:13 left, third quarter. Washington opening the second half with a touchdown drive that goes 11 plays, 70 yards. And now Matt Schaub in the offense playing catch up, trailing 8. 21 unanswered points for the Washington Redskins. It was 13-0 Ravens in the first quarter. It's been all Redskins scoring since. And after Asa Jackson had a 103-yard kick return, now we'll see the rookie from LSU, Terrence McGee, with a shot at returning the Kai Forbath kickoff. McGee will settle under this one, bobbles it, picks it up, still brings it out of the end zone across the 10, 15, sheds a tackler, and muscles his way out to the 19-yard line. That shot of the Ravens offense on the field when we get back. 21-13 Washington on the Ravens Game Day Network. 21-13, Washington in front of the Ravens with 9:07 to play, third quarter. Matt Schaub and the Ravens offense on the field for the first time here in the second half. When Schaub came in at the end of the first half, taking over for Joe Flacco, the offense went 3 and out. And the Ravens were unable to get traction. Then they had the ball in a goal-to-goal situation, and it was a Buck Allen fumble that left the Ravens with no additional points on the board. Allen starts in the backfield in the third quarter, gets the handoff on first down, and he'll work his way across the 20-yard line to the 22 for a gain of about 2 yards. So the rookie from USC fumbles late in the first half. We saw a year ago when it was Lorenzo Taliaferro with a fumble in the regular season. They got him in the doghouse
against Pittsburgh.
That was against Pittsburgh,
yeah,
right?
at a critical point.
This one not as costly, but if you fumble down to the goal line, you're going to lose a certain amount of trust in the coaching staff.
Running backs coach Thomas Hammock going to have some words with you on the sideline.
Schaub under pressure off the play fake, has to hurl the ball. It's intercepted at the 20-yard line by Jackson Jeffcoat. Matt Schaub was trying to throw the ball into the Ravens bench. Instead, he threw it right into the hands of the Redskins linebacker Jackson Jeffcoat.
Yeah, credit Jeffcoat for being just heads up and going with the screen. I know there was a little bit of a misdirection, and Matt trying to go ahead and draw the defense, and that pressure does something to you. He was just throwing an errant pass, tried to get it out to Buck Allen. That pressure ball sells, and Jeffcoat is the recipient of a Matt Schaub pass.
That's just a really bad throw. I mean, you got to just throw that out of bounds. Get rid of it.
Or you take the sack. I mean, you can't give the ball away there. 1st and 10, Washington at the Ravens 20-yard line. The ground game. And nothing doing there for Redskins running back Trey Williams, who is stopped for no gain.
Yeah, D'Angelo Tyson did a good job of two-gapping his offensive man and getting off and making the tackle on this play. Just a good job of coming down the line. He cleaned up afterward, but Tyson was the guy who got him around the legs and tripped him up.
Christo Billikidi will check out. Remember the first quarter, Timmy Jernigan left the game with a knee injury. He has not returned, and we can presume will not return. Colt McCoy will out-power, pass is complete to the 15, down to the 10, and taking it all the way to the 9-yard line with a Washington first down is Reggie Bell.
Yeah, you can't just sit back there and not tackle the guy. You got to make a move. If you let him have that much room on you, that's exactly what's going to happen. Quentin Pointer, you got to go after the guy.
Colt McCoy out of the shotgun, under pressure, lobs it to the end zone, incomplete. He just threw that one out of bounds because he was under blitz pressure from Terrence Brooks. You're listening to the Ravens Game Day Network, presented by MedStar Health. Keep in mind, if you throw the ball away, you have to be outside of the tackle box.
Yeah.
Colt McCoy probably was outside of the tackle box before he heaved the ball out of bounds. In the regular season, you might contest it a little bit more. It's 2nd down and goal from the Ravens 9. Washington in front, 21-13, 7:18 left to play in the third quarter. Redskins with 21 unanswered points off the play fake. Colt McCoy with plenty of time, lobs it to the back of the end zone. He's got a man, he's got a touchdown as Rashad Ross comes down with a reception. There is an injured Redskins player in the end zone, but Washington has now reeled off 4 straight unanswered touchdowns for Jay Gruden.
Seeing a struggling Trey Walker tonight. Really having difficulty covering receivers. And you're also seeing him really struggle. This is just press coverage. And it's a simple one at that. You're just free releasing off the line of scrimmage and running a drag route all the way across the football field. Trey Walker out of position, gives him that nice inside release. Zach Orr could not reroute him either. That's just an easy touchdown to throw.
7:10 to play, third quarter. Extra point pending. Washington up 27-13 on the Ravens Game Day Network. 10 to play, third quarter. Extra point attempt coming for Washington. The Redskins lead at 27-13. John Harbaugh saw his offense get out to a 13-0 lead. And now Washington, with the Kai Forbath extra point, has put up 28 unanswered points. We'll see if Matt Schaub and the offense can rally. 28-13 Washington on the Ravens Game Day Network. 28-13 Washington leads it with 7:10 to play in the third quarter. John Harbaugh talking with the side judge, Jonah Monroe, telling Monroe it doesn't matter. It was a pick. He was talking down play in which the injured Redskin, Evan Spencer, was going into the end zone, and Q.
It's a free release. I get it. I understand where John's coming from, but it just was a poor technique by Trey Walker. I mean, that's just, he's taking up for his guys, and I understand that, but that was no call.
He actually got pushed in.
Correct.
The Raven pushed him into the other Raven.
Yeah,
so
that was a no call.
It wasn't a design play. It was a crossing play, hoping to get rubs.
Terrence McGee takes the four-bath kick at the goal line, brings it across the 10, hit at the 15, and is dropped right there. Ravens fans, help support domestic violence victims and survivors through Hope Line from Verizon by dropping off your used cell phones and accessories to the Verizon booth on Ravens Walk before kickoff at the Ravens versus Rams game on November 22nd. Jerry Stanek with you live from the broadcast booth presented by Verizon. Ravens trailing the Redskins 28-13. Matt Schaub with an interception on the last possession that would lead to a Redskins touchdown, a fourth unanswered Washington touchdown. Drive this time starting shy of the 15-yard line. Schaub crossing pattern complete to Darren Waller, and Waller is walloped as he gets to the 19. Gain of about 4. Terrence Plummer with the hit.
You know, Evan Spencer, the guy that they were talking about there, his dad Tim Spencer is the running backs coach for the Tampa Bay Bucks and former teammate of mine, and had a great year last year for the Ohio State Buckeyes, especially in the playoffs, but he's an undrafted free agent here.
And he has gone to the locker room for evaluation after being shaken up on that touchdown play. He used to give to Buck Allen running behind the right tackle and guard, and he'll be tripped scrimmage. No gain. Third down coming up. 6:18 left in the third quarter, and this is an offense that has clearly lost all momentum and traction since Joe Flacco finished his work. He was very crisp, and I think Mark Trestman will be very happy with what he saw from that first unit. But Q, the second unit, just has not had the same momentum that Joe Flacco generated.
Well, part of it's Joe Flacco, part of it's Steve Smith Sr., who's sitting up in the stands with his family because he got ejected. You need a guy to step up and make a big play. A strong run after catch right now is very critical.
On 3rd and 4, Schaub throws complete. Crockett Gilmore sidesteps a couple of tacklers and is finally put down at the 27-yard line. That is good for a Ravens first down. Okay,
that wasn't the big play you needed, but it does keep the drive alive. So that's a plus and a positive when you're talking about, you know, the evaluation process. I want to see a receiver on the outside. I want to see Waller. There's a lot of talk about Waller's game and his size and his physicality, but now it's time to show that you belong on the football field. He knows all of the receiver positions. Let's see him make a play.
Waller and Marlon Brown at wide receiver, backs in the eye. Play action. Schaub. Pocket collapsing, and he is dropped back at the 19-yard line. Matt Schaub sacked by Chris Baker.
Part of that is clear and simple. There's no one to throw the football to. You got two receivers playing some good coverage football field. You got to separate and get the ball out to him.
You know, Jerry, you talked
See
about
that
this.
right there, just a nice double curl routes. And you got to go ahead and make a play on that.
You talk about, you know, the second group. Part of it's Joe Flacco not being there. Part of it is the supporting cast that that Schaub is playing with too.
Marcel Jones, the tackle, got beat by Baker on that play. It sets up a second down and 17. Schaub throws quickly, complete. Jeremy Butler will have it out at the 25-yard line, and that's going to set up a third down and long. Hassan had the coverage and the tackle.
This is where, again, a Ravens player has to do what the Redskins wide receivers are doing on the outside. You make a guy miss and you get up the football field. Strong run after catches.
Yeah, I think Crockett Gilmore's been impressive tonight, especially after the catch. It's hard to get him down, Q. He's made some big plays.
Yes, he has.
The touchdown called back. Terrence McGee in the backfield. Schaub in the shotgun. 3rd down and 12. Schaub is hit. Ball comes loose. No whistle. Ball is loose inside the Ravens 30-yard line. Now it is whistled down, and the Ravens do recover. Matt Schaub. Pressure came from Jackson Jeffcoat, and Matt Schaub and the Ravens offense trot to the sideline as the pass rush has been significant here in the third quarter.
Ja Reed, mother of pearl.
Yeah, that was not
That was
good
Jackson
film for him, was it?
Jeffcoat just working his hands, and Ja Reed in a block of cement, and Matt Schaub saying, "Whoa, what hit me?"
Sam Cook on the punt. He'll get it off cleanly. Hits a high spiral. Rashad Ross will settle under it with the fair catch at the Washington 25-yard line. A 47-yard punt. Washington leads it 28-13, 2:52 third quarter on the Ravens Game Day Network. Back. Gotta go back to work. 28-13, Redskins in front of the Ravens. We are honored to be joined by Money Matt Stover, a member of the Ravens Ring of Honor. Matt is with us in the broadcast booth tonight. Matt, this year Ravens fans voted on the 10 greatest Ravens of all time, and you are on that list. You're on the Ring of Honor. You're one of the great kickers of all time. What's it mean to have the fans give you such a high honor?
You know, it's a privilege to represent, and for them to think that highly of me and the role that I played for this team. I look back at all the kicks that I was able to be a part of. It was always the fact that I wanted the ball, and this team allowed me to have it, and they trusted me enough. And you know, really comes down to execution, and the team did a great job of putting great people around me as well.
On first down, it's Trey Williams with the carry. He'll pick up about 11 on the play, and that moves the chains. You've watched this team, Matt. First quarter, Joe Flacco on the offense looking sharp. Since then, it has not been a good night. You've been there.
That's pretty typical, right?
Hey, you were a young guy in this league in the third preseason game, wondering about your future.
Sure.
I mean, you know what some of these young guys are going through.
You bet. It's a battle, and you're trying to go out there and get that one last film that you can get on you, so that the team has a great way of evaluating you. What you do in practice brings the ability for you to have opportunity on the field. Now it comes down to actually executing.
Colt McCoy with the completion. A flag is down on the receiving end. Rashad Ross comes down with the ball at the Ravens 44.
Holding defense number 93. Penalties decline. First down.
So D'Angelo Tyson with the penalty, and John Harbaugh not happy with the target of that flag. John Harbaugh has not been happy since the end of the first quarter.
That's the first play. Moore is sitting there on a deep over route, and John Harbaugh is living. He said that should have been a push off, and you're not calling a push off, but you're going to call a push off on our guys.
Yeah, that's the play they didn't call in the first half when they tackled the Raven coming out of the backfield.
First and 10, Washington. Ball is at the Ravens 43. Trey Williams with the carry. He'll get down to the 41, and another flag on the play.
Some hands to the face. Defense number 68. 5-yard penalty.
Don't get sloppy right now, right?
Christo Billikidi with the penalty. Matt, among your many accomplishments, 14 game-winning field goals, 469 consecutive points after attempts, still an NFL record. The new extra point
it's going to hold forever now.
33 yards. You're the king for all time.
Well, when Troy Vincent asked me, he of course calls me. He says, "What would you do?" And I said, "Don't get rid of the play. Just back it up."
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't want them to devalue the position and make the play harder. And then if it's that way across the league, it really values the position even more.
Well, kickers are going to make a lot more money.
Do you think you'd have 469
carry to the 35
from this distance?
No, I absolutely
don't. You had a couple of them
off the upright, or
yeah.
You have to do one of those.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I would have missed a good dozen of them. You bet.
Yeah,
you bet.
So that's why your record's going to last forever now.
I hope so. I mean, Tucker's pretty darn good, though. But I mean, when you have to back up and kick a 43-yard extra point.
He kicked a 48-yard
and a 48 extra because of two. I know.
Yes.
And that makes it hard. And that's what I told Troy Vincent. I said, Troy, if the hardest extra point I ever kicked was a 40-yard extra point. There was 2 holding penalties by the same guy. They called them both times in Memorial Stadium, right?
Tough
back
place.
in the day, and it was kicking. It just made it difficult. So I know that played a part and get it backed up.
Blitz pressure coming. Pass complete to Rashad Ross down to the 31-yard line. Trey Walker had the tackle. Matt, did you watch a Justin Tucker start to establish himself as a rising star in this league? What's your advice for a kid like that who is so good? He's in the early part of his career. He's got a contract year coming up. How do you stay focused on where you are and your importance to the team and try to tune out all the extra stuff that surrounds early success?
Just kick the ball. I mean, do not make the world too big for you. Just kick the ball, keep things simple. Where money comes, life gets bigger. You got to just keep that away. Family, stay away from me right now. Let me just stay focused on what I got to do, prove myself, get the opportunities because the coaches trust me. And they say, you know, you got a great him with Sam and Morgan and those guys, Randy Brown as well.
Matt, we appreciate the visit. Great seeing you.
Good stuff.
That brings us to the end of the third quarter. Great to have one of the all-timers, Matt Stover, with us tonight. After 3, it's Washington 28-13 on the Ravens Game Day Network. This game started as sweet music. John Harbaugh and the Ravens had a 13-0 lead early in the second quarter, but Washington has been calling the tunes ever since. 28 unanswered points for the Redskins as we start the fourth quarter. John Harbaugh and his staff, of course, with Ozzie Newsome, with some decisions now in front of them as the NFL sees all rosters cut down by Tuesday at 4 o'clock from the current 90-man down to 75. And following next week's fourth preseason game, it's down to the regular season 53. Trey Williams in the backfield. Colt McCoy wants to throw. Pocket collapsing. Brennan Byron missed a sack. McCoy running to his right, and he'll avoid another sack by a diving D'Angelo Tyson. And Colt McCoy making a little something out of a whole lot of nothing for the Redskins.
I tell you what, they're going to have such a tough time deciding between Colt McCoy and Kirk Cousins. I mean, Colt McCoy right now, he's sitting there saying, yeah, okay, go ahead and rush me. I'm feeling pretty good about eluding the pressure the Ravens are trying to put on him.
Yeah, he's made a lot of athletic plays tonight. Brendan Byer had a shot to get that sack.
Yes.
I tell you what, when you're trying to make the team, that's what you got to do. You got to make the big plays.
Byer, a rookie free agent out of Michigan. Trey Williams gets the carry on 4th and 1.
Short.
An injured Raven on the play. And we're waiting for the official spot on whether or not Trey Williams picked up the first down on 4th and inches. Medical team comes out to take a look at the injured Raven. We'll get an update when we come back. 14:22 left to play. Redskins up 28-13 on the Ravens Game Day Network. 28-13, Washington leads it. 14:22 left to play. D'Angelo Tyson made the play to stop Trey Williams on the 4th and 1, and then got shaken up somehow on the play, Stan.
Well, he has a big brace on his arm, and it looked like he stuck that arm out. Probably got it hyperextended again, the elbow, that area. I've had hyperextended elbows. They are very painful, and when you have one and you get it re-hit, it can be really painful for a short time.
D'Angelo Tyson, former 7th-round draft pick, making the play that gets the ball back to the Ravens, and now running the Ravens offense will be the rookie Bryn Renner. Renner hands it to Terrence McGee on first down. McGee running off the left side of the Ravens line will pick up 2, but a flag is down. Preliminary signal holding.
Holding, offense number 76. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So a tough night for Ja Reed. He got beat on a pass play that led to a sack on the last possession, and he starts this drive with a holding penalty that will back the Ravens up 10 yards. Ja Reed at right guard tonight.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be in a position to be exactly Ja Reed. I've seen that play, and I've seen it not called, but I guess when 79 and the 9 all of a sudden gets stretched a little bit longer, that looks like a hold to the ref.
Usually if a tackle doesn't get his hands outside the shoulder pads, they don't call that. Renner throws complete to Jeremy Butler, who's at the 25-yard line, taken down at the 26. Plummer. And the Ravens will be looking at a 2nd down and long.
Yeah, that was a stretching of the jersey, the cloth.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification for our radio partners. This is the Ravens Game Day Network. 13:39 to play in the ball game. The Ravens trail 28-13. Bryn Renner's pass is caught by Butler across the 30. Sheds a couple of tacklers and gets out to the 36-yard line. And Bryn Renner has the offense on the move, setting them up for a 3rd down and short.
Yeah, I like the way Bryn has progressed in this preseason. He's gone from being a guy that, you know, was a little concerned with his footwork.
But they were afraid
not
to put
sure.
in the game.
Yeah, but he's earned his way into a position where he now can read the field, scan it, and get rid of the football quickly.
Renner hands off on 3rd and short to Terrence McGee, who squirts through an opening, crosses the 40-yard line, and picks up the first down.
Boy, I like me some Terrence McGee. He just runs physical. He runs downhill, low pad level. He has a great determination about his game. When you see him running the football, you can see right there going through the hole, and just not going to be going down on first contact. That's what you want to see from a back.
That was a good slow to fast through on that one. He had the hole open up and then darted through it.
1st and 10 Ravens. Ball is at their 41. They trail 28-13. Back to the ground game. Terrence McGee right along the left hash mark, crosses the 45 to the 46. 5 more tough yards. With the loss of Lorenzo Taliaferro for at least a few weeks, the makeup of the backfield could change now.
Yeah, it can. And again, we know the known is Justin Forsett. Buck Allen fumbles into the end zone, so we don't know as far as how they're going to evaluate that. But we do know Terrence McGee so far so good as far as how he's been able to carry himself as a runner.
McGee gets the handoff on 2nd down. It'll churn out to the 48-yard line, gain about 2.5. It'll be 3rd down and 2 again.
And this is a guy who was a backup at LSU, right?
Yeah.
What'd you say, he started 1 game in his career, something like that?
He played at LSU in 4 years. He had 1,330 yards, but only 1 start.
Yeah, that's amazing. So sometimes you get caught behind people and you don't get a chance to show your ability.
Ravens Dr. Leanne Curl continuing to evaluate D'Angelo Tyson, who was injured on that 4th down play. Pass here complete to Marlon Brown on 3rd and short, and Brown will take the ball down to the Washington 35.
Finally, give my man Marlon Brown an opportunity to make a play.
15-yard gain. Okay, guys, we talked about the Redskins and their backup situation.
Yeah.
Bryn Renner has shown, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say no one Raven has shown the consistent improvement in preseason to the degree Bryn Renner has. This was a guy who was literally a guy before the first preseason game, and he looks like a poised passer now.
That's absolutely true.
Let's see if I just jinxed him into something. Off the play action. Renner throws complete. Kiero Small out of the backfield will be hit and stopped for no gain. Jackson Jeffcoat, who has had a big night for the Redskins, on the tackle.
Yeah, you know, I think the quarterback competition is one of, okay, we know Joe Flacco's going to be there. They only carry 2 quarterbacks, and I think for Matt Schaub, just his experience, obviously they guaranteed his contract too, so that's going to be a huge thing, but I think Brent has earned him a spot at least on the practice squad.
Backs in the eye. They did spot it as a 1-yard pickup. Here's Buck Allen carrying up the middle. And Allen will be stopped at the 35-yard line, setting up a 3rd down and long.
You know, part of making the squad, especially right now, it's about your level of concentration on your technique and on the details. It's one thing to know the play, but it's another thing to go out and execute the fine-tuned details, whether you're an offensive lineman, running back, or even a wide receiver.
Renner out of North Carolina in the shotgun on 3rd down and 8. Blitz pressure coming. Renner throws down the seam. It's incomplete. He threw it just behind Marlon Brown, who tried to reach back. A flag is down. It's going to be a late hit.
15-yard penalty.
Travian Robertson,
First down.
leading with the crown, means he put the top of his helmet into the quarterback's chest. It was not an illegal strike point. He didn't hit low, but he hit with the top of his helmet. And if you hit a quarterback with the top of your helmet, you will always be flagged.
It was that last little duck. Did you see that last little duck where the top of that yellow line went down? And if you look at it, it looked like he might have hit his face mask into him but it was that duck that the referee saw.
Puts the ball in the Grill Mates red zone. 1st and 10 Ravens, just outside the 19. Renner's throw is intercepted inside the 5-yard line. Keyshawn Jarrett with a pick and return. He's at the 15 and finally taken down at the 20-yard line. So you knew I was going to jinx a guy when I said Bryn Renner was playing so well, and now he throws the interception. Redskins ball when we get back. 9:31 to play. Washington up on the Ravens Game Day Network. Renner's interception inside the 5-yard line. Deadly to throw a red zone interception. A costly rookie mistake. Washington takes over at the Redskins 20-yard line. Colt McCoy continuing to run that offense. On 1st down, hands it to Trey Williams, who dances his way out to the 3-yard line, a pickup of 3. In terms of accomplishments, positives that the Ravens are going to draw on from tonight, Joe Flacco and Steve Smith, that tandem is set. We know what the passing game will revolve around. John Harbaugh saw a good effort from his first-string defense, and maybe the Ravens figured out who their kick returner is with Asa Jackson busting a 103-yard return.
Yeah, I think that's the big one, the return game, and the fact that Asa Jackson had the big play. That's what they were looking for, somebody to go ahead and snatch that job away. Kudos to Asa.
Yeah, I'd rather have my first team do well than to find a guy in the second team that just happened to do a few good things tonight. But if you're
Offense number 61, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah, I thought Joe Flacco, Justin Forsett, Steve Smith, they all, the offensive line, the defensive front, I thought they all played well tonight. Didn't finish the first half well, but they played pretty dominant football for a period and a half, and it wasn't been for a missed field goal and a weird bounce on a pass. They could have had a 16-0 lead at halftime.
As it stands, the Ravens trail Washington 28-13. Jerry Stanek with you from the broadcast booth, presented by Verizon. Penalty backs Washington up into a 2nd and 17. Colt McCoy, who has looked extremely good. Delayed handoff. And Trey Williams will not get very far, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Cameron Lewis Moore on the tackle. Lewis Moore, one of the players who comes into tonight on the bubble, 3rd-year player out of Notre Dame. Had an ACL tear in the national championship game in 2012. Missed his rookie year with the Ravens. Last year, torn an Achilles tendon in training camp. And this year, every time he's made some progress, he had an injury last week, took him out of the rotation. So he's a guy who wants to make some plays so he can make sure he's on that roster after it's cut down on Tuesday. Screen pass to Williams. Works his way through a crowd. Flag is down. Williams to the 20 and taken down at the 22-yard line on a 3rd down that will lead the Redskins far shy of the 1st down.
The flag down, but
Pass interference, offense number 16. Penalties decline, 4th down.
wow, they called blocking downfield before the screen pass. They very rarely called that.
Yep.
Yeah, they rarely called that. But I think Brendan Byer has shown he's missed a couple plays, but he's put himself in a position. He's beat the guy in front of him. And like I said, he missed the quarterback on that one, Colt McCoy, when he had a chance to sack him. But he's done a good job for a guy who has never played in a 3-point stance before. He's doing that a little bit tonight. Did a good job on that draw play.
And the focus shifts back to special teams. Asa Jackson is deep. Awaiting the Tressway punt, flag down. Asa Jackson signals fair catch and then has to let the ball bounce, and it will roll all the way down inside the Ravens' 20-yard line.
Another flag, couple flags down. One at the line of scrimmage and then one downfield.
58-yard punt.
John Harbaugh and Jerry Rosburg all are saying, hey, it's going back.
Illegal formation, offense. Also, player going out of bounds on a punt on his own. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
Evaluation process. You get a chance again to look at guys on the punt return team and see how they can operate.
Well, Asa's got to catch that ball.
Right.
Otherwise, that's a 35-yard turned into a 58-yard because you didn't catch it. Right. And that's 2 first downs.
Right.
Defensively, just because you didn't catch the ball. You make a fair catch signal. That means you think you can catch the football. So go up and catch it. I know the point was up in the air and it sort of drifted backwards, but that's what you get paid to do.
Ravens special teams coach Jerry Rosburg came into tonight hoping to see some return opportunities. He got a big one in the kick return game when Asa Jackson had a 103-yard return. Didn't get into the end zone, but he certainly established himself as the leader of that job. Let's see how he does on the punt. Tressway's punt. This time it's fielded by Jackson. Ball is loose. It is a fumble, and Washington recovers at the Ravens' 35-yard line and takes it down to the 32. Asa Jackson that time did not signal fair catch, and he was crushed the instant the ball arrived by DeShazer Everett, who separated him from the ball. And Stan was talking about decision making. This was a poor decision.
Well, this is one where you number one, register in your mind, okay, the hang time is around 4.0 or higher. I know the Gunners are coming down to I better make a strong business decision, get under it, and fair catch it. That's where Rosburg is now talking to him. say you got to fair catch the ball. Do you understand that when the hang time is up there, you got to fair catch the ball, you got to make a great decision, and you got to hold on to the ball if you're not going to fair catch the ball. I mean, that's what he's telling him right now. He has given him a tongue lashing.
He deserves it.
Exactly right, because it's critical to hold on to the ball and secure it.
So as good as he looked in the kick return, he makes back-to-back poor decisions in the punt return game, and that job situation remains very much unsettled for the Ravens. Mac Brown will carry on first down for the Redskins, and he'll get the ball down to the 31-yard line. 7:04 to play in the fourth quarter. Washington up 28-13. You're listening to the Ravens Game Day Network, presented by MedStar Health.
Yeah, Q's right. I mean, he has to know the hang time, and he also has to know the distance on the punt. You know, that ball, again, the nose of it was up in the air, didn't turn over, so it's only going to go 35 or 40 yards. You should see the angle of the football and know it's not going that far. You know where you're at in the field. You just got to put that all together.
Second down and 9. Mac Brown with a carry. He'll slice inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. And for Asa Jackson, he can only hope he gets a chance to vindicate himself at some point. But with 6:19 left, the Redskins are well inside of punting territory. Asa Jackson, who did such a good job with the kick return, back mental errors, and it's the part of the punt return game that doesn't get talked about enough. We talk about how many yards guys get, but it starts with decision making, and if you don't make consistently good decisions, you will not earn the trust of the coaches. On 3rd down and 6, Colt McCoy operating out of the pistol. Inside handoff. Mac Brown working his way down to the 25-yard line. He'll be shy of the first down.
Yeah, I mean, Asa Jackson's got to hope that they look at those two things separately, the kick return and the punt return, and say, okay, Asa, you're not a punt returner, but you did a pretty good job on the kickoff return, because there's not as much decision making on the kickoff return as there is on the punt return.
Correct, absolutely. And the punt return, you can have more big plays positively go your way than you can on a kickoff return.
You can also have them negatively go your way more on a punt return. I know some big-time coaches who say the punt is the most important play in football because it swings momentum one way or another.
On for a 44-yard field goal try from the right hash mark. It's got the distance, and it is good. And with 5:03 left to play, the Redskins now with 31 unanswered points. 31-13, Washington in front of the Ravens on the Ravens Game Day Network. 31-13, Washington in front of the Ravens with 5:03 left to play. Time for our Maryland Lottery offensive play of the game. Q, no-brainer here.
Yeah, this is just Steve Smith Sr. with a strong run after catch. Awesome job of route running, but now when the ball's in your hands, you got to make a big play, and Steve Smith Sr. just makes it look so easy. Just a nice pirouette turn up the field and get going north. David Amerson is sitting there saying, why me tonight? Why?
The 15-year veteran from Utah setting the table early for the Ravens, who opened up with 13 unanswered points. But since then, it has been all Washington with 31 points. The returner now is Aldrick Robinson for the Ravens, who started his career with the Redskins. Spent 4 years with the Redskins. Brings it across the 15. Hits a wall at the 20 and will be taken down at the 21-yard line. Ravens offense back when we get back. Redskins lead it 31-13 on the Ravens Game Day Network. 31-13, Washington in front of the Ravens. 4:57 left to play. Time for our defensive play of the game. The honors there go to Terrell Suggs in the first quarter.
Yeah, he has an uncanny ability to smell out this little slip screen, flanker screen, and get in the passing lane. I've seen him do this 4 or 5 times, particularly against Pittsburgh. He's jumped in front of the ball, made interceptions, knocked the ball down. You would think they might not throw it to his side that often.
Kirk Cousins made the mistake of doing that on the Redskins' second possession. At that point in the night, it was all Ravens. It has been all Washington in this game from the second quarter forward. Brent Renner on for a second drive on first down. Hands it off to Buck Allen. Works his way around the oncoming edge of the Redskins defense, but only picks up about 2 yards on the play.
And did well to do that. He had some penetration in the backfield. He had to get around and just get back past the line of scrimmage.
Yes, he did.
You know, sometimes a 2-yard run is a pretty good run.
It's a darn good one. Yes.
Because you made a 2-yard loss into a 2-yard run.
Yep.
Second down. Renner under center. Nick Boyle, the tight end, comes in motion. Give it to Buck Allen again off the left side. Not much room there, maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and long coming up. We asked you in the first half to tweet us your questions. And this one comes in from, I'm not even going to try with Trippy Kicka, I guess. What rookie do you think will make a big impact this year, guys?
I got to go with Buck Allen. Buck Allen and Terrence McGee. I think both guys are going to do their job and do it effectively.
I'll take Darren Waller for 500. Renner's pass incomplete, intended for Buck Allen, and he was as he threw the ball. Let's take a look at this year's Ravens rookie class. Brashad Perriman would seem to be the obvious answer, but we haven't seen him since day one of training camp. Max Williams didn't suit up tonight. We're not sure why there. Carl Davis has become a nice impact player in the interior of that defensive line. We've seen a lot of Zadarius Smith, Buck Allen, a lot of reps tonight. And then Trey Williams also getting a lot of action the last couple of games at corner. And on to punt the ball for the first time is Justin Manton, a rookie free agent out of Louisiana Lafayette. Rashad Ross with the return. Works his way to the ball. 40. Turns the corner, 45. And he'll step out of bounds just shy of midfield.
I tell you what.
3:35 left to play. It's 31-13 Washington.
Jerry, when you looked at that list, to me, Perryman and Max Williams are guys I've said all along. They need them to be able to be have some impact and early because of the way the schedule falls this year. You need those guys. You need his speed. You need playmaking ability. Max Williams, you saw what he can do after the catch in the first preseason game on 4th and 20. Those are the type of things you need offensively, and hopefully they'll be able to do that.
Colt McCoy under center, ball at midfield. On first down, fumble. Ball is loose in the Ravens secondary, and it is recovered by the Redskins. Coming up with a loose ball, Tony Jones, after the fumble by Mac Brown.
Somebody had a chance to make a big play there and didn't do that. Who was that? Huge. It went right to the cornerback. He could have picked it up. Look at it, it's bouncing right up to him.
Chris Greenwood had a swing and a miss.
Okay.
Nick Perry.
And Nick Perry had a shot at it. Jerry Stanek with you live from the broadcast booth, presented by Verizon. You're listening to the Ravens Game Day Network, presented by MedStar Health.
Isn't it funny the way the ball bounces, though? There, and then the ball bounces in the end zone on the fumble, on the pass that bounced up in the air. Sometimes the way the ball bounces determines the game. Well, a lot of times it does.
1st and 10 after the fumble recovery. Trey Williams starts to the left, cuts back to the right. He's got room, 35-30. He is tripped up and taken down at the 22-yard line.
He tripped himself up. That line got him.
A 17-yard run, and he had a lot of opportunity to break it deeper and just lost his footing at the end of the play. He tried a little hesitation move and just lost his balance.
Yeah, he got the sniper on him.
2:10 left to play. Going to take us up to the 2-minute warning, and then it will be up to the guys who are going to try to avoid the Turk. The Turk being the guy who lets you know that you have to turn in your playbook.
That is the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes.
31-13. Redskins lead it with 2 minutes left to play on the Ravens Game Day Network. 31-13 Washington, 2 minutes left to play. Pete Gilbert and Kadri Ismail will take us through the post-game show. Pete checks in now down on the sideline.
Hey there, Jerry. Yeah, looking forward to talking about a game that for a preseason game was a little bit more chippy, a little bit more intense than one may expect. Maybe a rivalry truly is born between the Ravens and the Redskins. Looking forward to hear from John Harbaugh at his press conference. Some other players as well. All the stats and the highlights you need. That's coming up on Ravens post-game. Jerry?
All righty, Pete. We'll see you in just too long. Q, Stan and I will keep you company in the postgame on the radio side as we part ways of our simulcast. 1st and 10 Washington. Ball is at the Ravens 22. On first down, Trey Williams will carry it in between the hash marks. He gets inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. I don't know if you're just tuning in late and you might think end of a preseason game, week 3, not that much. Believe me, for guys like Zach Thompson, for rookie free agents, for guys trying to make this roster, knowing the first cut down comes Tuesday at 4, these final 2 minutes, huge.
Well, particularly if you're in the game at this point. Is
Chris Greenwood is the injured Raven on the play.
Is telling that you may be on that bubble and you better do something to to get off of that bubble.
On Thursday, coming up next week, it's the Ravens' final preseason game. And for some of these players tonight, this is the final football game of their career.
Yeah, the good thing is if you can last till then, you're going to get a whole lot of playing time next Thursday in that game, because they're going to, you know, one of the bad parts about cutting down to 75 is they don't have that many players to not play the starters with. So these guys that can last through this first round of cuts is going to get a lot of playing time on Thursday night and a lot of opportunity to make some other plays and maybe get a spot on the practice squad. You never know.
And of course, September right around the corner on Wednesday, September 9th. Join the Ravens for a 5K and fun run that benefits the One Love and House of Ruth Maryland Foundations. This is the only race in Baltimore that ends on the field at M&T Bank Stadium. Fun for the whole family. Register today at BaltimoreRavens.com/5K. Chris Greenwood shaken up, and he is going to be helped off the field. He is favoring his left leg.
They tried to put weight on it, and it wouldn't hold up, so they had to get under each arm and help him off the field.
A third-year player out of Albion. Spent the first 15 weeks of last season on the Vikings practice squad before signing with the Ravens in December, trying to earn a roster spot this year, and instead he is going to leave tonight's game with the help of the trainers.
Albion, a real small Division III school in Michigan. In fact, my brother played football at Albion.
And that's going to do it for the Redskins as Colt McCoy goes into the victory formation. He takes a snap and takes a knee, and he'll have to do that 2 more times before this one becomes official with a 31-13 Redskins win over the Ravens. Well, if you recall back in the first quarter, John Harbaugh and Jay Gruden had a very heated exchange when Harbaugh went across the field to help break up a skirmish. Harbaugh and Gruden will be meeting at midfield for what we can only presume will be a very brief exchange of salutations. Brief but meaningless. Colt McCoy will take one more snap before this one is officially entered into the books. 46 seconds on the game clock, 34 on the play clock, so one more snap. And that'll do it for the starters, because next week on the road in Atlanta, that game is all for backups and guys who are bubble spot guys. You won't see Joe Flacco next Thursday night at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Instead, you'll see Matt Schaub and Bryn Renner, both of whom threw interceptions tonight, both trying to clean up their play, knowing that once September arrives, it belongs to Joe Flacco. But until then, they want to make the most of their last shot in preseason next Thursday night on the road in Atlanta. Redskins will run the ball after taking the knee, and that'll do it. That's the final play here.
No, it isn't.
And no,
that was fourth down.
The Ravens
so they get
one more play.
5 seconds left. That's why they ran it, hoping to take more seconds off the clock rather than just taking a knee. They should have just taken the snap and walked backwards for a while and let the clock run out.
Instead, Bryn Renner and the Ravens offense come on the field. So do you run a play, right?
I guess. I mean, what do you got to lose? But other than everybody getting hurt, yeah, I guess that's the only downside, because you really don't want to get one of these guys hurt that you're going to have to pay and count towards salary cap and everything else.
And that's going to do it. Bryn Renner takes a snap and a knee, and John Harbaugh will take off to greet Jay Gruden at midfield. One of the more interesting exchanges in preseason. It is a gentlemanly exchange as the two coaches part ways at the end of a 31-13 Redskins win over John Harbaugh's Baltimore Ravens. So for the Ravens, the final preseason game just around the corner next week on the road in Atlanta. And the Ravens will continue their search in the return game. Asa Jackson with a nice kick return for 103 yards tonight, but struggled with a punt return game. So there are still questions to be answered in this preseason, while time in August is starting to run short. Coming up here, it'll be Pete Gilbert and Kadri Ismail with a post-game show. Stan White and I will keep you company with a post-game show over on the radio side. Ravens got off to a 13-0 lead in this game, and then Washington took over. The Ravens won the coin toss. Looked like they might win this one walking away. A 63-yard touchdown reception from Steve Smith early. Terrell Suggs with a pick and a great defensive stand. But after that, the only highlight was Asa Jackson. Redskins win it 31-13. The post game is coming your way next here on the Ravens Game Day Network.